They came out with a blue one.
What's it called?
You live.
Baja Blast.
High voltage.
What, a blue Mountain Dew?
Yeah.
Dude, did any of y'all used to eat moon pies?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So a
Chattanooga
moon pie and a Mountain Dew, they just go together, man. I mean, that used to be a go-to snack for me back in the day.
Did you drink that Mountain Dew regular?
Yeah, regular Mountain Dew.
Corn drinks Mountain Dew Zero.
Mountain Dew Zero, son.
What's in it?
Corn, you got
Nothing.
Corn. Why?
Nothing.
Corn, I think
Nothing.
I think I saw you drink a Diet Coke the other day, man.
I did. I'll drink a Diet Pop from time to time.
Man, you got to quit drinking that crap, man. Look,
I will on a Saturday evening drink a Diet Pop if it's all right with Sally.
what do you think about that, Chili? I mean, what's the deal with these diet pops, anyways? I've never understood that. It's like Coke.
Yeah.
Once people figured out that a Coca-Cola was not good for you, then Coca-Cola's response was to come out with a Diet Coke.
Yeah.
And then so that all the people felt better about drinking their Coca-Cola. But it's not in any way, shape, or form better for you, right?
It's probably worse.
Well, there's just
Talk to me about this, Chili.
there's differences in the
Let's get to the bottom of this.
in the two sodas. You know, now all my favorite sodas, my favorite Dr. E Nuff, that's a full sugar blend, and I like it. But I've never been too keen on the diets. But they're just different. You know, diet soda's gonna have 0 calories. Full sugar soda.
Well, I don't think it's the calories in the soda that's bad for you, right?
Oh, I thought that was the claim. Is that when Coke became bad, was the calories were bad, so we're going to make it 0 calorie. That way, you could drink 1 million of these in a day, and you ain't going to gain no weight.
Yeah.
But then now the response to the full sugar people, they say, well, no, you're drinking something worse than what I'm drinking because you got this artificial sugar in it that's killing you, causing cancer.
What else is in Coca-Cola that's bad for you?
Other than what?
Well, sugar. But yeah, there's not even real. What is in Diet Coke to sweeten it?
Well,
there's no sugar
it'd be
in it.
some sort of artificial sugar. I think back in the day it was aspartame. Then they decided that was causing cancer, so they may have changed it to like sucralose or something like that. Sucralose is just Splenda.
Okay. What else is in a Coca-Cola that's bad for you?
They got Coke. What's the ingredients in it? Probably water, like a regular one, high fructose corn syrup.
Unless it's a Mexican Coke, right?
Sodium phosphate, phosphoric acid, caramel color, probably sodium benzoate, a little preservative, a little coloring, stuff like that. That's about it. It's pretty simple.
Carbonated water.
Citric acid.
Is carbonated water bad for you?
Because it's carbonated?
Yeah, doesn't it make your bones weak or something?
That's what they say. I mean, it's got to be doing something to you, all that fizz.
Yeah, I think it fizzes your bones up.
Yeah.
Makes your bones brittle.
Yeah, that nitrogen in that water is killing you.
So that's the first ingredient, carbonated water, already bad for you.
Yep.
Number 2, high fructose corn syrup.
Yep.
What is that?
Well, see, he's not drinking that because he's on the diet. But high fructose corn syrup is just taking your syrup out of you're squeezing your corn, extracting.
Whoa. Whoa.
So
high pressure squeeze, and then that takes all the sugar out of it, right? They extract the sugar, they extract the syrup, and then it's a high fructose blend, right? So then they're making it extracting out the fructose.
what's the point in that? Is it just like super concentrated so they can use less of it to sweeten the drink? Or why wouldn't you just use sugar? Why would you use high fructose corn? Okay, it's cheaper than just using regular sugar. Okay.
Like cane sugar, yeah. Natural cane sugar, yeah, it's cheaper.
But the Mexican Cokes made in Mexico have real cane sugar in them, right?
I think so.
That's what I've heard. Yeah. Is high fructose corn syrup bad for you in comparison to real sugar?
That would be what a lot of people say and make the claim of. that versus real sugar, I mean, probably it's not as good. It's more processed. It's, it's altered and changed and heated. And I mean, not really. Sugar, man. Like, it's not. They're all different, right? Fructose is different than glucose and the form you get it in. Dextrose, like what we drink after our workouts to help replenish our glycogen really fast and shuttle it back into the muscle whenever we've just worked out and depleted it all. Yeah, it's all different forms of it, right? But no, my personal opinion is high fructose corn syrup is, if you ate the same amount of it as regular cane sugar, it'd be about the same.
Okay.
I mean, it may have more effects. I mean, I guess you could just try to not stay away from it to be safe, but it's really about the same.
Are any of you guys on board with the idea that sugar is bad for you?
I'm not.
CB?
I don't really know.
Go ahead and deprive your brain of sugar and see what happens to it. It literally dies. It kills it. And your body, out of a self-preservation mode, will start turning fat and protein through a process called gluconeogenesis into sugar, so it'll feed your brain and keep you alive, keep you from dying. Well, I mean, I don't see why, if your body does that as a self-preservation starvation mode, why would you intentionally do that all the time? There's got to be effects long-term from not eating any sugar.
Well, let me ask
carbs.
you this. If you was just an old nasty Indian out here piddling around on the banks of the Coosa River, where are you going to get sugar from?
Well, sugar.
That joker ain't ever ate a piece of sugar.
We're talking about carbohydrates. That's what your brain needs. That's broken down into sugars. So they're eating carbs, which is broken down into sugar. Now, one argument is if you just eat straight sugar.
I'm talking about sugar.
That's just, so that way you skip all the the processing in your body, and it's much quicker and will raise your insulin and all that really fast. That's probably not real good if you're not working out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're running ultra marathon or doing legit legit gym workouts and, really depleting your muscles and sweating. And I think a good electrolyte blend mixed with some sugar is good.
Yeah. Cause you need it immediate.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're like in the midst of the activity, the body is not going to have time to break it down once your storage is completed.
And if you wanted to argue that that's still not good for you, well, it increases your exercise performance, I'll tell you that, bar none.
Mm-hmm.
Don't even dispute that. So maybe that's different than being actually good for you, but then you would probably be arguing that the actual exercise itself that was to that degree of intensity would not be good for you.
Yeah, yeah. So we could say that real, straight up sugar serves a purpose.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess it's like anything else. If you just eat it all the time.
Well, I don't know how much Indians were getting their sugar. I mean, if they were eating any honey, and I'm sure if they found any honey, they'd eat it up.
Well, did you know that the honeybee is not native to this continent?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Well, it's native somewhere, and I bet those native people were eating honey when they found it.
I think they're native to. I want to say they were brought over from Europe, but the honeybee is not native.
What pollinated the U.S. then?
Well, there's all types of different species of native bees, but they're little. They don't look nothing like a honeybee. We got them all in our garden. We actually have these little boxes in our garden that are made for native bees to build their little hives and stuff in. Mm-hmm. But they're tiny.
I mean, I know
wasps are pollinators.
I know honeybees are not the only pollinators, but they're a big one, especially now in the U.S. So if they all just went away, it'd be bad. But I didn't know they weren't always here.
Sure enough. Yeah, they weren't always here. So yo Indian out there on the Coosa River, he won't find no honey. Yep. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He just won't getting it. He won't get no sugar. Straight up sugar.
What do you think, CB?
McDonald's is the only place that makes the real Coke to Coke specifications.
Yeah.
They do it the way they mix it, that's how Coke is supposed to taste. 100%.
I know,
it's
and you
good.
eat there a lot too.
No, I
Is that
don't
where
eat
you
there
get
a lot.
your Coke?
I will drink a Mountain Dew Zero, but I ain't eating at McDonald's.
Well, you can just go get you a regular can of Coke, and that'll be the spec too.
A can of Coke?
Yeah.
You think so?
Well, it came
don't
right
think-
from Coca-Cola.
Yeah, but nonetheless,
It's not fresh.
I'm telling you, it's not the same.
You don't think you can get a Coke from Coke and it be real?
Maybe right off the thing,
The
right,
nozzle?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Maybe run over there, put your mouth right up to the nozzle.
Full bore.
Well, Blake was talking
Like a
about
hose.
Blake was talking about the other day the plastic liners in them Coke cans. I saw some wizard
Oh,
on
yeah.
Instagram
Yeah.
the other day. He like dipped the Coke can in some sort of, acid or something and
Yeah.
pulled it back out and all the aluminum had melted away, but it was a plastic freaking liner. What about that?
Yeah. You didn't know that?
No.
You thought that was just aluminum?
Well, yeah.
Oh, you've been duped.
Dude, plastic is just in everything, man.
100%. It's in things that you don't think it's in. You know those boxed waters?
Mm-hmm.
There's plastic lining on the inside of that. The big environmental push, for that boxed water, the cardboard and everything. Well, there's a liner on the inside of it that's plastic. I mean, it's unbelievable.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, it's everywhere. And the freaking outer coating of that boxed water, the print that it's on, that's a petrochemical plastic. I mean, it's ridiculous.
That Nestle water.
What do you think the cap is made out of? That little plastic white cap that goes on the boxed water? It's plastic too.
That Nestle water tastes just like plastic to me. It tastes like a chemical to me.
Oh, yeah. Bottled water, dude.
Yeah.
If you get, so I quit buying bottled water years ago. Water. We just get our water straight out of the spring. But even then, we're putting it in a plastic jug.
Yeah.
And now it's in that jug, obviously inside, for no more than a week. But really, optimally, we would want to put the water from the spring into a glass jug. But do you think that this plastic, everything being in plastic and plastic being in everything, all of our foods and like you said, Corn, you can't deny that something is seeping out of that plastic.
Yeah.
Because,
Leaching.
Yeah, because you can get you go into the gas station, man, and look, they got all of their bottled water like stacked up in the front window.
Yeah.
Where it's just baking in the sun.
Yeah, and getting hot.
And then they've got cases and cases of it. I mean, I bet that stuff sits in there for 5 or 6 months before it all sells.
Like QT, because they're open 24 hours, they keep theirs out and beside the front doors outside. So they get hot, that sun beating on them hot, and then at night they get cooled down. Then they get hot, then they get cooled down just every day.
Yeah.
Them waters get that.
And then you can taste it.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
You can taste it in the water.
Yeah.
So is that just the plastic like breaking down, like the micro particles of the plastic breaking down? And
Yeah, they call it leaching because what that is made out of, plastic is it's just like crude oil, right? That's turned into all these products. I mean, that's the basis of everything.
Look,
you can
dude,
turn that into literally anything.
This is no joke, man. I was at my father-in-law's house one time, and we needed some of that plastic saran wrap.
Yep.
To cover something up for dinner or whatever. And he's like, oh, I got a roll of it down in the basement. Well, he had this roll of plastic saran wrap in his basement, and it was like 10 years old. And we went down there to get it, Chili, and we pulled this out, and it had turned into like oil.
Yeah, it broke down.
It broke down
Yep.
into freaking oil,
Yep.
dude.
Yep. Well, that is what it all. I mean, people don't know that, but literally,
I saw it.
Crude oil makes everything you use. I mean, it's petrochemical product plastic. Like it's the basis of everything, and they can chemically change it and alter it and turn it into whatever, from the freaking plastic your bottle your drink is in to a tire to a whatever. Get as detailed as you want.
And And it's in everything. I bet that paper cup right there has plastic in it.
Well, the lid does for sure.
Well, yeah, the lid does for sure. I
yeah.
wouldn't doubt if the inside the cup, though, is some sort of plastic lining to it.
So, no, that's exactly what would happen to all of it when it breaks down. So I would be curious what would happen if you left a bottle of water in the sun for 10 years, like you're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, it would eventually, I think it would just get to the point where it just broke down and, like, the water just spilled out of it and it collapsed into oil. I mean, I would think.
Yeah.
It's such a thin plastic anyway and can't be heated very much. But, yeah, like the normal day-to-day stuff, it's resistant to that. But it is, I think, leaching into it. You know, it's the different components that it's broken down into, like phthalates. I can't even say that freaking word. Phthalates.
With a P?
With a P.
Okay.
PTA. Yeah. That's leaching into the water and affecting the taste and affecting what you're consuming. And I think if you add it up over time, how much plastic you're absorbing into your body by way of drinking out of those, touching all this plastic crap. Yeah, I think it's a lot.
Someone said in the comments that the average human consumes 7 credit cards worth of plastic a year.
Well, how they got that figure, Lord knows. But it wouldn't shock me if you could pile it up and test it and, you know, quantify that it would be some big number like that. I mean, it's clearly a lot, which is ridiculous if you think about it. Like, what's the effects of that got to be on you? Go eat. I mean, if you ate 7 credit cards right now, it'd about kill you.
Yeah.
Your body is, I'm assuming, does not have the capability to process plastic.
Right.
Or the components thereof.
We ain't got a gizzard.
Well, no, that's the thing. That's going into your blood. And then where does your blood go? Well, it runs through your whole body and it's going to your brain, right? And it's going to, it's pumping from your heart out to everything. And, your liver is where your blood goes through and it serves as a filter. But then when that stuff is in your blood and it's pumping everywhere, it's also going to your brain and there's a blood-brain barrier, right? And that stuff getting past that.
Yep.
I mean, to a degree. So that's not good.
No, that's not. Did you know that you can boil water in a plastic bottle?
In what kind of plastic bottle?
Just your regular old Nestle
What?
plastic bottle.
The bottle don't melt.
Nope. If you've got water in it, you can hold a flame underneath it, and you can boil water in that plastic bottle.
Well, heck, I've tried getting it hot like that before, and it melted the bottle.
I'll show. Maybe you can't allow the flame to touch the plastic.
You can just heat it enough.
But you can heat it enough to where the water will boil. Yeah, I've seen it done before. Yeah, man. Well, let's get back here to. I want to ask you about So we got the first 2 ingredients of Coke: carbonated water, high fructose corn syrup. The second. Here's the third one. What do you know about this? Caramel color.
Yeah, mentioned that earlier.
Where'd that come from?
Well, you
plastic.
It can't. It can't be clear, man. It's got to be that nice Coke brown.
I mean, when they list ingredients like caramel color,
yeah,
like I want to know what's in caramel color.
Well, that is the funny thing is like you could break down some of these ingredients and they're not in their most basic form listed. Like caramel color has other ingredients within.
Yeah, where'd that come from? Like, where you getting your You ain't gonna go out here in the daggone garden and grow you some caramel color.
Yeah, it's just a coloring.
Do you think that's good for you?
No. I mean, good for you, bad for you. We kind of got to define what that means. But no, I don't think it would have any advantageous health effects.
I can guarantee
Positive.
you. Yeah, you old dirty Indian out here on the Coosa River, he ain't got no caramel color to put into his acorn Pop-Tart.
Now, is our old dirty Indian on the Coosa
them
the model
Indians
of health?
them Indians were dirty.
Oh, yeah.
They were nasty.
I don't know that they were nasty, but I would agree with they're dirty.
I've heard they were
There's
nasty.
a difference between nasty and dirty.
Here goes Chad again talking about them nasty Indians.
We've glorified the Native American to be this
Here we go again.
this magnificent, example of a warrior and a human. They were filthy. Yeah.
Wretched.
Bad bum. In the casino in Cherokee, man, all them pictures they got of them, they look pretty clean.
Oh
to
yeah,
me.
yeah. That's
They
because
look pretty clean. to
those
me.
pictures
In the
are
casino.
the pictures when the white man brought them in, cleaned them up, dressed them up, and then took a picture of them.
That was the first version of photo editing.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was, wasn't it?
Yeah, leave that dirt off of me when you do that picture.
Bum.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fourth ingredient, phosphoric acid.
Yep. Hit that
What
one
in
earlier.
the
I may
crap
have
is
listed
that?
it off earlier. I don't know. Phosphoric acid. Yep. I mean,
What is that?
well, that's really what actually is the claim that makes your bones weak. Is these acid, phosphoric acid, not the carbonated water. I mean, who knows? That's got to be doing something to you, right? All them bubbles. But no, that's really what the claim is, that softens your bones.
Here we go. Phosphoric acid is a corrosive acid
Yep.
that can form 3 different classes of salts,
Yep.
namely primary phosphates,
Yep.
dibasic phosphates, and tribasic phosphates. Phosphoric acid is soluble in water. It is incompatible with strong caustics and is corrosive to ferrous metals and alloys.
Yep.
So please tell me why you would put a corrosive
Well, it's
acid.
FDA approved. It's generally
Oh, okay.
it's generally considered safe for consumption in small doses.
You know a concrete truck?
Yeah, I do.
It's got the big drum on it.
Yeah.
Turning that concrete around in it, so on and so forth. If that concrete truck goes down, to keep that concrete from hardening inside that truck, you know what they do?
Well, they do.
They show up with 2 and 3 liters of Coca-Cola and pour it in there until they can get that truck back to get that it'll keep that concrete from hardening. Believe that. Seriously. They do.
Must be that caramel coloring.
I don't know what. I don't know the science behind
it'd
that.
be those acids. I mean, it would be, it would be,
And you talking about 9 yards of concrete.
softening.
They'll pour them a few 2 or 3 liter jugs of Coca-Cola in there, and it'll keep that concrete from hardening. For what time frame, I don't know. I imagine 1 or 2 hours till they get the truck hauled back.
Well, I can't help but wonder, like, when did the conversation happen that somebody said, I think it's a good idea that we put phosphoric acid into this drink?
Well-
Like, when was that decision made? Like,
Well, that's the deal. There's the conspiracy theories about all these ingredients are just in there to kill us slowly, and we titrate the dose and just slowly poison everybody.
well, look, yeah.
But it does serve I mean, it's not good. You could have an alternative, but they do it because it's a cheap ingredient that you can add that keeps things more shelf stable, preserves it. I mean, that's why they do it all. I'm not saying they don't do it all to slowly poison you too, but I mean,
It says it's in Coca-Cola to impart tartness,
yeah,
reduce the growth of bacteria
yeah, it's a
and
preservative,
fungi,
right?
and improve the shelf life. So that's why the conversation was had. The Coca-Cola head said, all right, we got this good drink, but it ain't keeping long enough, so let's just put some corrosive acid in it.
Right, we're wasting money.
Yep.
We're losing money. I mean, I think that is what it boils down to. I don't think it's this big plot to poison everybody. That specifically, why they put phosphoric acid in there. They don't care that they're poisoning everybody. That's what they're not necessarily trying to. They just don't give a crap, and it's a cheap way to make more money.
Yeah.
So they don't.
Yeah, and then
they're
they
not
just
trying to.
And they just give a cut of that extra money to the FDA, so that
Correct.
the FDA says, "Oh yeah, you can put phosphoric acid in that." Yeah.
I'm sure you could go look it up on the FDA website right now, and it would be listed under generally considered safe as a food additive in small quantities. And then you could promise the FDA you wouldn't put more than a certain amount in there, and they'd say, well, you're good to go.
Phosphoric acid can affect you when breathed in. It is a corrosive chemical, can irritate and burn the eyes. Breathing it in can irritate the nose, throat, and lungs, causing coughing and wheezing. But we're gonna put that in a Coca-Cola.
What's
and then
it?
and then reward our kids with it. We're gonna reward our children by saying,
well, same thing with
this
a lot
is
of
a sweet treat, your Coca-Cola.
Same thing with a lot of kids cereals having, I think it's trisodium phosphate or tripotassium phosphate. It's in a lot of kids cereals. And it's funny, that's actually an ingredient in paint thinner. And if you read the warning label on the actual bottle, the pure bottle of I think it's sodium phosphate, there's a warning label on it that says, if ingested in any quantity, please call poison control immediately. And it's an ingredient in your kid's cereal. So they're ingesting a certain amount of it.
Yeah.
And then so technically you should, every time your kid eats whatever it is, Fruit Loops or something, like, call immediately poison control.
You know who came out hard against the cereal heads?
Jesse.
Yeah,
he did.
He's offered them like crazy amounts of money, like $500,000
just to talk to him, right?
For an interview.
Yeah.
He came out. That's what this is titled, right? Coming out against it.
Yeah.
My buddy Jesse Itzler came out hard against the cereal heads.
Yeah.
He gets on that kick about twice a year. He gets on that kick.
Yeah, well, he probably is reminded of it again and again and just gets ticked off because, he's also angry, too, at the marketing of it to the kids, and they know they have these things in it. They don't care.
That's the part he's the most angry about.
Right.
You're exactly right. I mean, because really, all of this boils down to personal responsibility. I mean, if you're a private company and you want to put some, harmful chemical in your product, and you list it on the freaking label, well, then if I go and eat it or feed it to my kids, well, that's on me.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what it all boils down to. But, yeah, the way they market it.
Yeah, because that's a lot of people's argument as well. But the citizen doesn't know what that is or, even read the label and everything. But my argument to that is, well, I mean, why not? Read it then. Like, I mean, nothing's keeping you from reading it. So the argument that, these companies are predatory and, there should be lawsuits because nobody reads the label or shouldn't have to or whatever. I mean, you can make that argument, but, if more people did read the label and did care what was in it, then these companies wouldn't put the crap in there. But then you point to Europe and go, well, why do they have these same types of products, but they don't have those same ingredients? They're not allowed. Well, government involvement. Government kept that from being in there. We need more government here. That's the problem, is a lot of the arguments that want this stuff changed in food does result in more government intervention.
Yeah,
you don't want to get it to the point where the government controls what's in Fruit Loops because then you trust the government to keep bad stuff out of it?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I don't. The government's what's allowing the bad stuff in this anyway.
The point of the conversation isn't to say that Coca-Cola should change their freaking ingredients. Right. It's to say you're an idiot if you partake in this beverage. Like, you're the idiot. Now should they be required to accurately list their ingredients on the product?
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Well,
but here's the thing: even if they're not required, and I go to buy something that I'm going to put it in my body, and the company decides not to list the ingredients on their product, well, guess what?
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to freaking buy it and eat it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what's in it.
Well, the government problem also comes back to the fact that people. The real problem is not even that Coke is putting it in there and listing it or whatever. It's the fact that if you did look it up, the government that you want to be so involved in everything has considered those chemicals safe for consumption. So if you're a big government head, well, our government has said those are safe. So, what's the gripe? If you're a government truster, like, they said it's safe, you should be good to go. You're drinking the Coke because they said it's good. It's okay.
It's good, man. Yeah. Here's the next ingredient now. This is a real interesting one.
Sodium benzoate?
No.
Oh.
Natural
flavors. I forgot. I should have said that. I love natural flavors.
Boy, that's a real interesting ingredient right there.
Kind of vague, ain't it?
I wonder where I can go get me some natural flavors.
Ask them dirty Indians, man.
Have you ever? That's a good, interesting study for people too. Is the difference between natural flavors and artificial flavors? Because you'll see both listed.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, like brands, will now market no artificial flavors, and then you read the ingredients list, but we got natural flavors. Well, if you look at the difference, there ain't none. It's the same thing. They both made in the lab. Truly, it's wild. It's just it's freaking it's regulatory lingo. It's the same thing they do with daggum chickens. Everyone falls for these cage-free, this and that, organic, free range, all this. Do you know how to be considered a free range chicken? You've got to have like a 10-foot by 10-foot square that can be under a building. It's the same as all the rest of them. I mean, you can pass these qualifications to market your stuff with all these buzzwords that people love, like organic and cage-free and free range. It's all just a hoax. They just get by. It's loopholes, man. It's the same loopholes with the taxes, and why nobody pays taxes except for people who actually try to do what they're supposed to do. So it's the same thing with these ingredients. Natural flavors, that's an artificial flavor. They make it synthetically in a lab 100% all day. The slight difference may be the origin that it comes from, but it's a freaking artificial flavor. That's what that is. Also, what the heck does that even mean, natural flavors? That could mean 80 different flavors. Dr. Pepper's got 23.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when you list that, that could mean anything.
Yeah.
Natural flavors, that's so broad and vague. What are the flavors? Where'd you get them from?
Yeah, that would be.
It's like when some things say it just lists spices.
Yeah, what spices? Yeah.
Spices.
Last ingredient is caffeine. We all like caffeine around here. Except for those of us with heart troubles. They've abandoned their caffeine and they're worse off on account of it.
So, see, that's pretty simple ingredients,
Well,
It's only 6 ingredients.
the Diet Coke is even worse.
Oh.
Starts out with carbonated water. Second is caramel color. So there's 2 similar ingredients. Third, aspartame.
Yep.
I guess that's taking the place of high fructose corn syrup.
Yep. That's a 0-calorie sweetener.
Phosphoric acid.
Yep.
Same ingredient. Potassium benzonate.
Oh, yeah, benzoate. Yeah.
In parentheses, to protect taste.
It's a preservative, yeah.
Got to put that potassium benzoate in it, son. More natural flavors.
Yeah.
Citric acid.
Yeah. So Coke doesn't have citric acid. Diet Coke does. Interesting.
What is citric acid?
It's another preservative. Protect freshness. See, the potassium benzoate was to protect taste.
Yep.
Citric acid's really in there to protect your freshness.
So it
that
tastes
fresh
good
Coke,
and it
Chris.
stays fresh.
Fresh. That fresh taste, boy.
Don't you like your Coke to be fresh? Corn does. He likes it right out of the tap.
Fresh.
It's like Subway.
And then,
Think that Subway tuna's got citric acid in it, Blake?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
now there's on the bottom of this Diet Coke, there's something strange here. It says phenylketonurics. PHENYLKETONURICS. And then under that, it has a colon. And then under that, it says contains phenylalanine.
You're going to have to give me more than that.
PHENYLALANINE.
Phenylalanine?
Yeah, phenylalanine. Contains phenylalanine.
Yeah.
What is that?
Well, I mean, when you say what is it, I don't have a great answer for that. I mean,
It's an artificial sweetener.
oh, it is. Interesting.
the artificial sweetener aspartame has phenylalanine.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, aspartame is rough. I don't think that's too awful good for you. I don't know. Been a lot of studies, man, to try to prove that it causes cancer, and a lot of studies to try to prove that it doesn't. It's another one of those things, man. The FDA will tell you small quantities of aspartame, sucralose, all that stuff, good to go. They're like, well, if you poured a gallon of it down your throat, you might die, but you'd do that with anything. That's the argument is, well, anything in the wrong quantity will kill you, right? Drink 3 gallons of water in the next hour, you'll probably die. But, it's just like, but is the compound good in and of itself? Is it good in any quantity? And that's what a lot of people are arguing is in the amounts that is in Coke. If you drink a Diet Coke a day, it's slowly building up and adding this toxin to your body that is contributing to chronic diseases like cancer. And I also wonder the effect of something like artificial sugar on diabetes, because your body it has an insulin response similar to if you ate sugar, because it thinks you ate sugar. It tastes like sugar. So if your body has that insulin response, but it's actually not getting the thing that would warrant the insulin response, what is that causing? That's got to break your whole regulatory meter in there. It's like, well, dang, we thought we just got this dump of sugar and didn't get any. Because it's non-nutritive. Aspartame and sucralose is non-nutritive. It's non-caloric. It's not going to anywhere and providing anything for your body. It's just waste. So if your body thought you were getting carbohydrate or sugar, which actually is, I mean, whether you think sugar's bad or not, it's serving a purpose.
It's doing something.
It's going to your brain. It's going to your muscles. It's caloric. It actually, even if you think it's bad, sugar, it's stored as fat. Well, it's doing something. Your body knows what to do with it. It's going somewhere. But your body thinks it's getting that, and it's just getting, like Corn said earlier, nothing. That's what's in Mountain Dew Zero, nothing.
Get that big gulp.
So I don't know that's got to have some kind of effects on you. Now, does that cause cancer or diabetes? I don't know, but I don't think it's a great thing. And you'll find some of these ingredients in anything, man. And I can argue that sucralose is not the end of the world, have that in some things, but it's probably better to not.
I doubt you'll find phosphoric acid in a ribeye steak or a sweet potato.
Yeah. Well, the sweet potatoes and other vegetables, especially that are ground vegetables, has a lot of dirt would have a lot of dirt, right? Now, a lot of people wash all that off. Say you don't really wash your vegetables off like that. You keep the dirt on it. You consume it. You're eating a little bit of dirt.
Which is, if it's good, healthy dirt, is actually not a bad thing.
But I will say, that dirt would have things in it that in larger doses would kill you.
Well, yeah.
So that would be one. That's almost their argument for these ingredients is like, well, yeah, it's just like
most any dirt that anything is grown in today also has some sort of, I imagine, some level of glyphosate in it.
Glyphosate, like Roundup.
Yeah. I always wonder when you buy organic in the grocery store.
Oh, it's a fugazi.
Yeah. How legit is that, man?
Not very.
Because there's no way that a sweet potato or a freaking, whatever organic thing you're buying
is truly.
There's no way it can be grown on scale enough to supply all of these freaking grocery stores if it was actually grown what most of us have in our mind as like organic.
Well, what is that? What does that mean? I mean, the term organic in science, if you will, means containing carbon. Well, everything does that. I mean, so what is organic or non-organic or unorganic about the different bananas in the grocery store when you go to the little roundabout thing in the Publix or
this says,
Walmart or whatever, and it's got one half of it's bananas, and the other half is organic bananas, and they're always double the price and supposedly any different. Like, what's the difference? What makes that organic? They both contain carbon.
This says organic food is grown without the use of synthetic chemicals.
Right. But
such as human-made pesticides and fertilizers, and it does not contain any GMOs.
Right. But see, all of that is supposed. That's we're promising to not have added any of those things. Like you just said, you think you can find a speck of soil in the United States on any farmland that don't have glyphosate in it?
No, and this is saying that it has the soil has to to be certified.
Yeah.
Or it has to be grown in soil that had no prohibited substances applied for 3 years prior to harvest.
Yeah.
Is what it says.
And how do they find that out? They take your word for it? I mean, it's all ridiculous, man, and can be totally gamed. And
look, we have a garden at my house. When you try to grow a garden without using any sort of weed killer or fertilizer or any of that crap,
rough.
Let me tell you what, son. It's rough for a lot of reasons. The first reason is because of the daggone weeds. Like, if you're going to grow a garden without the use of any sort of thing to kill them weeds, you have got to be out there every day hoeing them dang weeds up, man, or else they'll take over. And then you got the bugs.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you grow your daggone tomato plant up, right? And that joker's just about right to get tomatoes. You come out the next day and there ain't a leaf on the plant. It ain't nothing but a bunch of little stems. One of them big old tomato worms will eat a whole dang tomato plant down to nothing. I love feeding them things to the chickens. All kinds of bugs, beetles. We got them little June bugs. You know, that Japanese beetle. Mm-hmm. They will come in and just obliterate your garden, son. And then you talk about no fertilizers. Well, you got to have really rich soil.
Yep.
And the only way to keep that soil rich is to continuously replenish it with other organic matter that's been broken down, or stuff like chicken crap or stuff like that. I mean, it is work, dude, to grow something without using any of these pesticides or herbicides or fertilizers. So you're going to tell me it would take 10,000 Mexicans to tend a freaking 5-acre plot of sweet potatoes if you was going to grow it without nothing to keep everything from eating them up and killing them?
Well, there's a big problem in America. There's zero rich soil. What we would even consider good anymore ain't good.
Yeah, we've overworked the topsoil.
Well, and another problem is the monocrop agriculture.
Yeah.
Where we've planted and grown and harvested the same crop in the same place for years and years, season after season after season. Well, that just depletes the soil down to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's why these big farms nowadays are doing the crop rotation and spreading it around and changing things and trying to go more this way, and the carbon but it's almost too far gone. I mean, it's rough. Like these big fields of corn, man. I mean, that soil is just it's almost like planting it into nothing.
Dude, when I lived in Suffolk, Virginia, there was a cornfield in my backyard.
They just suck it out.
And I would go back there and hunt for arrowheads, because in this field, man, the only thing that would grow on this dirt was the corn they planted.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about you could walk through this field, buddy, and they would not be a single blade of grass or a weed or nothing.
Yeah.
It was just dirt and a corn stalk.
A corn.
That's all that would grow in there.
Depleted dirt, yeah.
And it's because they genetically modified that corn kernel to where it was tolerant to the herbicide and the pesticide that they would spray. So I'm talking about, you would walk through this cornfield, man, and And not only was they nothing growing, they would not be a bug in that thing. Nothing could live in that field but a corn.
A corn.
It's wild, man. And yeah, they would plant corn. They would plant corn in that field 2 or 3 years in a row, and then they would plant soybeans in the field.
See, that's not good enough.
The soybean was the same way.
Yeah.
Nothing could, when they planted the soybean, wouldn't nothing grow but the soybean.
Yeah.
I guess because both seeds were genetically engineered to be tolerant to all the stuff they were spraying on it. And they would fly over these fields with daggone airplanes, and
crop
just
dust.
dump stuff on them, man.
Jeez. That's rough.
But even in the wintertime, and so that's the other thing. Once they would go in there and harvest all that corn, that field would sit all winter and wouldn't nothing grow in it.
Right.
So it's just exposed soil,
exactly.
just sitting all winter, getting rained on, snowed on.
That's the same thing. Yep.
It ain't like you leave the field alone and grass would grow up in it to preserve the topsoil, because nothing will grow. Yeah, I saw that firsthand, man.
Yeah, our soil is jacked bad, and it's the farming practices that have done it. You know, soybeans and corn are the most genetically modified crops in the world, and that's the culprit for a lot of that monocrop agriculture that has depleted the soil. But part of me has always said, well, you know, the GMOs and the pesticides and the herbicides, all that is allowing there to be more yield to these crops, right?
Well, yeah, because it's the only thing that can grow and nothing can kill it.
Well, and so why is more yield a good thing? Well, people are starving all across the world, right? We're trying to feed the world. So, hey, maybe if we didn't use those things, we'd have way less yield, way less crops, and more people would be starving. But then you look at some of these new farming practices that are solving some of this monocrop agriculture and creating a healthier product, and
like white oak pastures.
Yeah. Exactly. And, you know, it's like, okay, regenerative farming, I think they call it. It's like, at the end of the day, if everybody did that, now I know it'd be a hard switch now that we've gotten to this point, but if everybody did that and we dedicated huge, large acreage of land to that, we probably could feed the world. The yield might end up being better overall. I don't know. I mean, I know it'd be a healthier product, but would it end up being better yield if we dedicated so much of this land to that specifically and did it properly? Because that's the thing, man. You end up, if you're killing people with the product, that's just as bad as not having enough yield.
Yeah, I get that. And, you know, that's an interesting question, too. If it weren't for these breaks. So I had a good friend in Virginia. Because Virginia, where I lived, coastal Virginia, was so agricultural, they had these big facilities down there with scientists, and all they did was study and try to develop new procedures in terms of increasing the yield, the crop yield.
Yeah.
And so my buddy, he was a scientist, and he worked in one of these labs. And he told me that they are almost always on the verge of not being able to produce enough food to feed the population of the earth.
Well, yeah. And
he said, like, they're constantly having to innovate and figure out ways to increase yield in order to feed the people of the earth. Like, for them, it was like the biggest looming problem in the world.
Well, we're also not even there. We're lagging behind. People are starving.
That's a good question. Like, without these advances in crop production, would the earth be able to sustain the current population?
No.
It's a good question.
Oh, 100% it wouldn't.
Because there's a lot of there's a lot of factors. I mean, one factor is people in general are eating more than they need to eat. And
Well,
the amount of food that we just waste and throw out.
That's
and,
it. Do we not
like
to say people are starving? So that means we're not producing enough yield currently. Well, we waste half of it.
Yeah, we waste a ton. Well, not just a ton.
Collect all of the waste from restaurants in America. That's good food
That's what I'm
that is
saying.
thrown out. And then
Yeah.
you take that amount and then take all the people that are starving and say, is that enough to feed those people? The answer is probably yes.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But without those technological advancements to make all the food that we grow now, the Earth's population probably wouldn't be as big as it is now.
There's no way.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's no way it would.
Right.
Because that's why we have the food that we have to waste, is because of those advancements. We're just not utilizing the resource well.
Right.
There should be a much better plan to get this excess food that we have into the people's hands that don't have it. I know why that plan's not existing. It's not just as easy as, we'll just do it. But nobody's really trying to fix that problem.
Well, nobody really cares.
Nobody really cares.
Nobody really cares about people starving.
No,
I mean,
not really.
no. I mean, dude, some of the places I went in Africa, I just looked at these cats and I was like, where is this joker eating? He lives in a dump.
Yeah.
This joker lives in a dump that is like 1,000 square miles of a dump.
Yeah.
What is this cat eating? I mean, he couldn't grow a freaking weed, man. I don't know, man. I don't know what he was eating. Probably not much.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, people do eat way more than what they need to eat. But if you think about it, like just about the majority of people's day is associated with eating. So, like, let's say you work on a construction site. You know, you go get a biscuit in the morning. You don't get a break until it's time to eat.
Yep.
Then when you go home to see your family, it's time to eat. You know what I mean? It's just like all associated with it. So you want a bigger break? What's a good excuse to get a bigger break? A big old plate of food. You know what I mean? You want to feel better about your day? What's a good way to feel better about you? A big old huge baked potato or French fries and whatever else you're gonna eat. And me and Blake was talking about it months ago. Like, how much do you actually think about eating? You know, I used to think about eating all the time. Like, not even hungry, just like, oh man, what am I gonna eat for lunch? I'm gonna go to Zaxby's today, boy. Get them buffalo chicken fingers. You know what I mean? Just thinking about not even hungry is just always on your dang mind.
I remember when I got a raise, when I went from working on the little farm I worked on to working at B&B Concrete, and I got a little better pay. I went from eating lunch at Subway to eating lunch at Beef O'Brady's. Beef O'Brady's was like high class, dude.
Oof. Yeah.
Yeah. It was uptown. Yeah, I looked forward to that.
Well, also, I've got a question about thinking about food so much. You still don't think about it in the same way, but you think about it a lot, right? Because you got to hit your protein goal.
Oh, absolutely.
You got to make sure it's like you trade it for one or the other. Because I think that's just a basic human instinct, man. You go back to the Indians.
It's natural. It's
man. If
it's
you're
a
not,
natural instinct.
If you're not constantly hunting and gathering, you ain't gonna eat. You will get to the point that you starve if you stop thinking about those things.
But that's interesting too, though, that you bring that up. So, like in the past, this is what I learned by eating all this protein, trying to hit these macros, is that quantity of food, take it and pile it up. I wasn't eating that much. Quantity, just what I was eating, was really, really bad. There was a lot of stuff left over inside my body from what I ate. But you try to hit 245 grams of protein if you're not drinking the majority of it, and you're going to eat a pile of food, man.
Yeah.
You are literally going to eat a pound of chicken a day and then some on just to get that protein. That's not counting your carbs and your fat. Go on ahead and start working out 2 times a day, and you're gonna need some more carbs too. And that's like 2,300 calories, you know, that it equals out to. But sitting there looking at it, that is a pile of food, you know, actual quantity.
Can you imagine how stupid the idea of working out would have been to a hunter-gatherer or even to someone who was living in the mid-1800s, Civil War time frame or before. Can you imagine how stupid they would think that was? Like,
it's just not an option.
You're burning calories.
Yeah.
Like, it's so hard for me to just get my hands on enough calories to just survive.
Yeah.
But you're intentionally burning them.
You know what's funny, though, is ancient cultures are not immune to the idea of working out, though. Look at the Romans in the Colosseum. I mean, they would work out like we would.
Yeah.
It looked a lot different, but they would work out. They would try to build their body and practice sports and prepare for these competitions like the Olympics, right? And throw discs and run and do all this crap. I mean, but why were they able to do that even back then? Because they were fat and happy.
Yeah.
Like, they had an abundance of everything.
Yeah.
So, like, it's not a modern thing to work out or have this. It's just an abundance thing.
It only occurs
When-
in a culture who has
excess.
developed some sort of society of
That allows for an excess of basic needs.
Exactly. Yeah, man. I personally, do you think you could get by just eating one meal a day?
Oh, 100%. I mean, they've got a name for that now. The OMAD diet, one meal a day.
Okay.
I mean, it's become a thing. Like, yeah, because it became a thing because of intermittent fasting. People think this intermittent fasting is the key to health and trying to do the 16-8 thing. And some people say, well, I'll fast for 23 hours every day. I'll eat one meal a day. And, have that huge fasting period to increase the autophagy window, where everything's cleaning over. And I mean, that's why they do it. Some people call it the warrior diet.
Well, I just look if I'm not training really hard and trying to put on muscle that is unnatural, and I'm just kind of living, I eat twice a day.
Mm-hmm.
I'll eat something for, you would call it, I guess you could call it breakfast, maybe like around 11, 12 o'clock. And then I eat dinner at 6 or 7. And the only reason when I'm working out hard, I'll throw a smoothie in there or something like that, or maybe a third meal in there at some point, not always. But yeah, I would say on average, I eat about twice a day. But it's, again, when I do eat, when I sit down and eat dinner, I might eat a 16-ounce bone-in ribeye and a big old pile of white rice or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's heavy. So, yeah, I think we're eating too much, man. And I don't know. That is an interesting question. Could we support the Earth's population if it wasn't for all of this, advancement in crop yield? So cornbread, you're drinking phosphoric acid in a plastic freaking liner, man.
We're going to talk about that Zen right there.
Did you quit?
Yep. Lord, yeah.
Are you doing no nicotine?
No nicotine.
Holy crow, man!
I'm not
when
putting
Corn does
I'm not
something,
putting
he
that
does
stuff
it
in my
big.
mouth out of that plastic can. Are you serious? Are you serious?
Dipped in formaldehyde, man.
Yeah.
Bip.
I mean, what in the world?
How did you quit using nicotine, man?
This is day 2, but I just quit doing nicotine. I just quit putting it in my mouth.
How are you here today?
Turkey hunting. You know what I mean?
Well, if it's day 2,
I think I would have had to go bury my head in the sand somewhere, dude. How long you been using nicotine?
Is either 9 or 10 years old. There was a gas station right down the road from my mom and papa's. They used to have dog fights in the garage, by the way. But I could get whatever I wanted there. I probably tried my first bit of tobacco at 7 from that gas station. Old guy in there named JR.
So 40-something years.
Yeah.
Blake, go check that thermostat. We had a gas station like that when I was growing up. It was called Swafford's.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember where Swafford's was?
Have you been by there lately?
No,
You wouldn't believe it. They tore it down and built a big old mega gas store now. Yeah.
Is Rose's still there?
Yeah, right across the road.
Does it look the same?
Rose's does, yeah. Rose's
Okay.
store does.
Yeah, I knew old Swafford, he wasn't going to make it.
Oh, they got that big deli in there, son. They do them biscuits. You go by there in the morning, son, going turkey hunting or something, and that place is packed out.
Huh.
Yeah, people in there getting them biscuits.
Well, that was a thing when we were growing up too.
Biscuits.
Oh yeah.
A gas station biscuit.
Oh yeah.
That's what everybody. I mean, that's what everybody ate for breakfast.
It was. I mean, it's still ingrained in that culture, like where we live. I mean, that's what you do in the morning is you go get a biscuit at the Grands.
Yeah.
Or they still call it Swafford's, even though it's not.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Swafford was the man's name that owned the store.
But it's not on the gas station like everybody calls it Swafford's. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet old Swafford's dead by now.
Oh, I imagine so. Yeah.
Yeah, he was old as crap, but he would sell chewing tobacco to anybody.
And it was half a hardware store too. Remember?
Yeah, it was pitiful.
Yeah.
It was pitiful, man.
Yeah.
Like that Crown King, Arizona little store that had some hardware in it. Yeah, it's pitiful, but I liked it.
Corn, he gonna quit. He's gonna quit.
Okay, man. Yeah, get back to the conversation. So you've been using nicotine since 7, 8, 9 years old, and just the other day I heard you said you was on your last can of Copenhagen, and you're done with it.
When going to the proving ground, that can I got that morning, I stretched that booger out all the way till what? 10 o'clock Monday, 9 o'clock Monday morning. Yeah.
Have you ever tried to quit before?
I have.
You have?
Yeah, I have. I've made it 8, 9 days before. One time I made it 22 days, and I bought a can by habit in the gas station. Bought a can by habit. Got out to the truck. You know how you pop your can, flipping your finger on top of it. And I said, Dad, bum, I quit. And I looked. I said, well, I done bought this jewel. Might as well go on ahead and get a little dip.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, man. Whenever I get around somebody that's dipping Copenhagen,
Rough.
I mean, and I ain't had no Copenhagen in probably 2 years.
I remember when you sawed it off.
Yeah,
I remember your last dip too.
yeah, but I still use these nicotine pouches right here, so I'm not off of nicotine.
Toss that to me. Let me look at them ingredients.
Dude, I'll never forget your
It's nicotine salt
That's not all that's in it. They make that paper out of something.
and other food grade ingredients, man. That's an ingredient.
Yeah. I'll never forget your last dip of Copenhagen. We were traveling, and that trip, you were so agitated. I mean,
Really?
You take your normal level of agitation and ramp it up a few notches. Yeah, we were driving across the dang country, and you just
Were we going to Utah or coming
Yes,
back?
going, and you just sawed it off right then and there because you said this will be a good time when we're traveling. And I was thinking, oh, sure ain't gonna be a good time, and you were just miserable.
Holy crow, man!
But you've stuck with it.
But yeah, but mine don't really count like corn's does. I mean, because the thing that makes you want it so bad is the nicotine, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, when I get around Copenhagen, man, the smell of it, it tastes just like it smells. Everything about it, the texture of it, everything. I luckily not that many people dip snuff anymore. It's not that common.
No, not like it used to.
Man, used to when we were growing up. I mean, not everybody, but I would say, 60% of men in our community either chewed tobacco or dipped snuff.
Yeah.
My dad dipped snuff all his life, still does.
No, Dad quit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, right.
I mean, what do you mean?
When did it? He's quit like 67 times. Is he
No,
about to have another surgery or
He's
something?
been quit since his neck surgery.
No, man.
Yeah,
He hadn't.
No,
is he dipping
buddy.
again? Is he?
I was fixing to say.
Yeah.
I
He
saw
just
him.
slid that in. Then I ain't paid.
Yeah,
no attention.
he quits dipping when he has a new surgery coming
Poppy's
up.
on. He been on here earlier.
Yeah, we just told on him, but I was pretty sure. Yeah.
No, he
I
ain't
paid
quit.
he quit for a while. He started doing that herbal stuff, and then
Oh,
he
jeez.
Oh,
then
that
he
stuff
was
is
eating
rough,
sunflower
man.
seed.
That
Putting
stuff's like
tea bags in there.
You read the ingredients on there. It's like kudzu leaves.
Really?
and all
Oh,
that.
yeah.
It's like putting cricket legs in your mouth, man. It's like somebody just took a bucket of crickets and pulled the legs off and stuffed them down in that can.
Poppy just commented, said, I quit for 1 year. You dipping again, Poppy? I didn't know.
Oh yeah, he's dipping again. Yeah,
It's freaking.
he ain't got no surgeries on the schedule. He's
What'd you call him? A sand lapping heeb?
Yeah, slipping that in like that.
he's back on it.
Why would you quit for a year and then start back again?
So what made you decide to quit, CB?
I got to thinking if I'm doing all this stuff, eating right and working out, why am I shoving this whatever it is in my mouth?
Ain't it a terrible waste of money?
It is.
Isn't it a waste of money to use something like nicotine that you don't actually need, but the only reason you need it is because you use it?
You know, them old filthy Indians, they wasn't putting no nicotine in their mouths.
That's a good point.
Yeah, true.
I mean,
Bill.
I would like to know what the thousands and thousands of dollars I've spent.
When we went down there,
I wouldn't.
when we went
God.
down there to Florida,
Yeah.
and I bought that can of Copenhagen, that thing was $10.
Yeah.
In that gas station.
Then you bought that off-brand thing.
I had to. I couldn't afford another can of Copenhagen, son.
Yeah, that was $10.
I couldn't imagine. But like a pack of cigarettes is almost $9. Almost $9 in Georgia.
That lasts you about a day.
Pack of cigarettes?
If you're a smoker, yeah, about a day,
I
yeah.
would assume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
But I mean, I the only way to do it is just to do it like he's doing it. Just make your mind up and say, "No, I ain't fooling with that no more."
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the alternative? To wean yourself off of it?
There's a lot of things that you'll make up in your mind. I've thought about these things. Some days, man, I'll go through 2 cans of these things a day, and I'll be like, I need to ease up off of that. It's a freaking drug, man.
That's exactly
No,
what it
you'll
is.
ease up off of it for a day or two, and then before you know it, you're right back up to doing however much of it you ever have done. You can't freaking wean off of it, man.
Yeah.
It's a dang drug.
And then you leave them laying around everywhere, people's dang cars, and sticking them on your podcast mic stand over there.
Dude, Chad gets in my car about once a year, and I found a freaking dried up Zen pouch the other day.
Make you mad.
Dude, I don't
Yeah,
think
man.
in your door handle.
Yes, it made me
I
mad.
didn't think I've been in your car since we drove to the airport. Freaking however many years ago that was when I figured out you didn't have any air conditioning in your car.
I still don't.
That was miserable,
Did you
dude.
see me when we sat down this morning on that turkey when he was gobbling? I was patting my pockets. And I was like, dang, you idiot. I was patting my pockets for my snuff can.
Yep.
You about to throw a dip in?
Because I wanted to put a dip in, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's weaning off of it, or then the other thing is trying to replace it with one of those nicotine-free snuffs or something. That you can't do that either. I done tried all that, man. You can't freaking do that because you're trying to break 2 things
Yeah.
at the same. You're trying to get off the nicotine, and then you're trying to break the habit. Like Corn said, patting his.
Right.
When you have dipped snuff for so long, like it is the essential thing to have on you, man. Like you'll forget your cell phone before you forget your snuff.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So you got to break the habit and the addiction aspect of it. And the only way to do it is just to decide you have enough mental fortitude to stop doing it. That's my opinion on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Corn said this before, and I mean, I can't speak from experience, but I imagine the counting days thing hangs people up.
Yeah.
I really do. I've always thought that.
Yeah, I think it still associates you with it.
Yeah, and
100%.
instead of just making the decision to not do it every day. I mean,
Right.
I think that's huge.
Well, I get it. I completely get that. Like, how does it not make sense to just, like, to me, it makes total sense to just say, I'm not doing this anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then either you follow through with it or you don't.
Well, here's what people that use all these tricks don't realize, because they use these tricks and maybe they'd say, no, it worked. I weaned off. I went to this alternative and then I slowly got off of that and then stopped this and now I'm not dipping anymore and this worked and I got hypnotized and it worked and whatever else. It's like, ultimately, even if those things worked, you decided to not do it anymore, because if that worked, you could still, from today, leave this podcast studio, drive to the gas station, and pick up a can and start dipping, whether it worked or not. So ultimately, you're deciding not to.
Right.
So why not just look at it that way, frame it that way, and sit here and ask yourself, if I'm doing something that I want to stop, am I going to stop or not?
Yeah.
I mean, if you just would talk to yourself that way, you'll either answer yes or no. And some people ain't going to be ready to stop. They're like, I just can't, But...
Well, it's
Yeah.
like people talking, well, I use lifesavers, butterscotch lifesavers. Well, now you got a butterscotch lifesaver in your mouth every 30 or 40 minutes.
Well, and it's for the purpose of thinking about not dipping, so you're thinking about dipping.
Right.
It's like, I'm going to put this in so I don't think, Well, that's not breaking the habit either.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you've just got to, it's tough, man. I can't, it's tough.
That's crazy, CB. Yeah, I mean, I think the habit, it's even ingrained in some way, shape, or form, at least dipping snuff. It's ingrained into portions of your identity.
Oh, I agree 100%. 100%. I did the same thing with alcohol. It was, like I said this morning when we sat down, let's say if I just small example, turkey hunting. The first thing I would do if I sat against a tree, if I didn't already have it in my mouth, would put it in my mouth, sit there, collect my thoughts. You know what I mean? All right, well, how we're going to try to do this, so on and so forth. Getting in the truck to drive in the morning, the same exact thing. After you eat, the same exact thing. I mean, it was prescribed throughout my day, so to speak. I never waited to get the urge to do it because I had a system throughout my day. First thing I did when I got up in the mornings, I'd do my mouthwash, brush my teeth, and then put a nasty dip in my mouth. Got to have that clean mouth for that dip.
Full flavor.
Yeah. Go in there and cook my protein pancake, spit the dip out, eat my pancake, put the dip in my mouth. Just throughout the day.
Well, for me, like, I think you're alluding a lot to the habit side of it, at different points in your day. And, it's almost like a ritual type thing.
Right.
But for me, dipping Copenhagen was like literally part of how I looked. Like I had a look. You look at all the old pictures of me and stuff. I got a big dip in, man. And there's nothing better than just spitting.
Look at your left arm.
Toting around a spit cup. Yeah, I have a Copenhagen lid tattooed on my arm. Like it becomes part of, like, literally your image of yourself.
Yeah. I'd always get in Buck or Cooney's truck, and I'd be like, y'all ain't got no spit bottle in here?
Oh, yeah.
Why ain't you got a spit bottle in here? You knew I was riding with you. We'd have to find a spit bottle. But now, if either one of them was to ever take a dip, that would be bad. That would be bad. They ain't never touched it to the best of my knowledge. If they do, they better not be around me. You don't want no part of that.
No.
It's a ridiculous habit.
It's stupid.
It is. It's ridiculous.
It's stupid. I think the reason why it becomes, I think the the Southern culture, at least when I was growing up, is the reason it becomes a part of your identity.
Right.
Like, it, you know, when I was growing up, like, yeah, if you didn't dip snuff, you were a daggone fag, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know? And that's one good thing about this stuff is this stuff's gay, man. It's like you don't want you don't want this to this doesn't come with the identity of like throwing in a fat dip and you know spitting on somebody's mess.
Some beach nut in somebody's eye.
You got to go turn the corner and put that one in.
I was fixing to say, well, you've turned the corner from used to thinking that about not dipping to dipping those things, man.
Oh, this stuff's gay,
ain't
man.
Nothing more pinkies up homosexual than putting a Zen in.
Dude, I mean,
That's rough.
you know, it's like being out. Like I was in third phase in SEAL training, being out on the island, you know, and this guy keeps talking crap to me, and I just he had his nice dress uniform boots on, and I just spit a big wad of Copenhagen spit all over his boots, you know. Like, yeah, screw you, dude.
It's slap fun to spit some snuff on somebody's foot.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
I mean, slap fun. Son.
What are you gonna do? Gently lay a Zen pouch on it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's gonna snake spit in between his top two teeth. He's gonna do that snake spit. He's just gonna spritz him with some Zen spit.
This stuff is gay, man.
Well, look.
You're inspiring me, Corn. I'll tell you what, man. Cornbread inspires the fire out of me, dude.
Yeah, with everything about it.
I mean, how can cornbread not inspire you?
Well, he ought to inspire you to get in turkey woods a little bit. I was kind of thinking we might need to talk about that hunt this morning, Corn.
It was big, son.
Listen to him. Look, he ain't said nothing the whole freaking podcast.
Well, I don't dip, and I don't drink Coke.
But he does kill them goblets.
Hey, let's change the subject now.
You know.
What about that hunt this morning?
First, I want to hear about Chad's calling out there. I was kind of intrigued, Chili.
Well, let me tell you guys this. If I learned something this morning. If I ever want to challenge Chili to anything and be 100% sure that I'm going to beat him, I'm going to challenge him to a sitting still contest. I have never in my life seen someone who could not sit still for longer than a 10-second interval. I don't know what the earth was wrong with him.
Like a kid.
It literally got to the point that I just thought, you know what? Why are we here right now? Because if a turkey does literally come in to the point that we can see it, it's going to immediately see us.
And you got that existential? Why are we here?
Yeah. Why are we even turkey hunting right now? And so every time I would look over at him, I am not kidding you, every time. And even when he was sitting beside me and all I could see is just movement in my peripheral because he was just moving constantly.
Real fast about it.
Yeah. Not even trying to move slow as to not draw the attention of any turkey that might be viewing you. Picking up his phone, rubbing his face. You know, one time I was sitting there and I thought a child had wandered down in the woods with us. Because Chili's over there, he's sneezing. He literally sounded like a 7-year-old child. I was like, no, I'm not kidding you. I thought there was a kid had wandered up in them woods. And I looked over there and it was him. And of course, he was wiping his face, you know, after he had sneezed. He was doing something to his face.
He didn't do any of that when me and him went.
Dude, I looked over there at him so many times and he was just sitting cross. I would say, Chili, I would literally pick his tree out for him and say, Chili, sit against this tree and look this way.
When you want me to start telling you what actually happened?
So he would go to the tree, but he wouldn't sit down and lean his back up against the tree. He would sit beside the tree.
Yeah, man, you can't be fooling with
and just put his gun in his lap. And I'm like, this is pointless.
No, what was pointless was trying to kill a turkey with you calling. That's what it sounds like.
He wanted me to
It's like a wounded dog.
He wanted me to call. He wanted me to call too much. I was calling fine, man. We got close to them turkeys, man.
Yeah, well, we ran up on them. Clearly, I didn't move too much. We came right up on them.
Yeah, we did get right up on them.
Yeah, I mean, clearly I did something
I'm
right.
wishing now I would have just stood up and just shot that turkey.
You should have stood up, ready, full
Yeah.
draw, and just pulled the trigger.
I know. I'm
You
wishing.
ever stood up full draw with your shotgun at full draw?
I'm wishing that's what I would have done. And it was funny because in that spot, that turkey was right on top of the hill, and we were just right on the military crest of the hill. And I was waiting for him to just look his head over and just look down that hill. And Chili's sitting there, and when that turkey would gobble, Chili would pick his shotgun up, but then his arms are so weak, he could only hold his shotgun up at full draw for about 10 seconds.
I had it on my knee, man.
And then he would put his shotgun back down.
I don't know why you just didn't stand up and walk off like you did the other morning when you was right there.
Well,
on
that's
the
a good
turkey.
point.
You should have just stood up and just walked back to the house. Hey, turkey over there gobbling, you hear him?
Well, yeah, because he can't. What was he going to do? Bring it to him? No, he hears it gobble. All he can do is either sit there and hope to God it just
So
wanders
that's
to
what
him.
that's what.
Or
it
he's
was.
just got to
It
get
really,
up.
It really wasn't coming to him.
No.
It was just in there gobbling.
Correct.
That's all anybody does anyways. You don't ever call a turkey in.
Well,
No. Look, you just, if you kill a turkey, you just happen to be sitting in the spot where that turkey was about to walk through anyways.
that's what I would expect a bad calling inexperienced
Nobody
turkey
ever
hunter.
calls
I
a
thi-
turkey in.
I think I was going to provide my examples of how he's a bad caller, but I think he just did it for me.
I agree.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, that tell them, Corn. Tell them how we do it.
What
happened to y'all?
Me and
We
Blake
do it.
do it. Me and Blake do it.
You ever heard that song?
That sure ain't the truth.
Oh, it ain't.
No. Hey,
Who come out with a bird this morning and who didn't?
Yeah, go ahead. Tell
how
him,
do you
Blake.
expect me to kill a bird when I got the daggone fidget master over there, dude?
Look, you couldn't get him close enough for them to even see him.
Yeah, that's because I didn't sit anywhere long enough because every time we would sit down, I would look over at this joker and he would be fidgeted so hard that I just said, well, there's no even sense in sitting here. We might as well get up and move.
You need to get him a fidget spinner.
Yeah.
I have one of those little things that you
Yeah,
can press
you should have
buttons
brought
on.
that with you.
I'll start bringing that.
So Team PT this morning was a turkey hunt. You know, Corn made a comment a few days ago. He said, if you ever wake up in the morning and you hear that whippoorwill, you better watch it, son, because them birds is going to be gobbling. And I thought, that's stupid. Who would ever say something like that? So this morning, I opened my front door, and CB's standing out there in the driveway. I opened my front door, and the first thing I heard when I opened the door was that whippoorwill down there in the driveway. I said, okay, well, we here we go. That's the first whippoorwill I've heard at my house this year.
Yeah, me too.
First one I've heard. And by gosh, we was there. He was there. Sun was coming up. And let me tell you what, Corn, you were not lying. I don't know how you know that. And does that only work for like when the first whippoorwill of the year?
No, if you go a hunting and you hear a whippoorwill, the turkeys are gobbling. If you don't, now I've never heard a whippoorwill and not heard a turkey gobbling, but if you don't, there's two things. Either they ain't now turkey there or you can't hear worth $1. And that's just how it is.
That was crazy, man.
If the whippoorwills, the turkeys is going to be getting down.
When did you learn that?
Probably about 10 years ago, maybe 12.
Did I teach you that?
No, you didn't. You didn't teach me nothing.
What did Chad teach you about turkey hunting?
We
much everything he knows.
started out together.
I killed the first bird out of the whole group.
He had some intel on the spots to go. So, I mean, sort of the terrain feature type thing we learned together. You know what I mean?
I got you.
He had the intel on the places to go.
I'm not near as good at turkey hunting as I used to be. I used to kill turkeys like every time I went.
Poor old Chad.
Hard to believe.
He's way behind the power curve on the turkeys.
Oh, yeah.
Blake, well, go ahead and tell him, Blake. Because
Well, hold on. I'm not done. Corn told me that when I opened that door and that whippoorwill was hammering out there in the driveway, I said, okay, yeah, well, we're going to see if he's just full of crap or not. Me and Chili went back there in them woods. How many gobbles do you think we heard, man?
I mean, legitimately, it was close to 200.
Yeah, because them two that we was hunting, they probably gobbled together over 100 times.
Yeah.
But throughout the morning, there was other groups of gobblers that would just blow up, son. Did you hear them? Like off in the distance?
Everywhere.
Like they
all
were
directions.
everywhere, man.
I think it may have been 200 times. I mean, that seemed in excessive to me.
It was wild. I don't know that I've never heard that much gobbling, but definitely not within the recent years have I ever heard that much gobbling in one morning. Well, I mean, we couldn't even move. We would stand up and try to walk one direction, and a turkey would gobble right in front of us. It literally got to the point that Chili looked at me and he said, you know, it's embarrassing to not kill a turkey this morning.
I did say
well,
that.
that's what I was kind of thinking. You sounded like you was in a turkey farm.
It was really wild, man, how many turkeys was gobbling.
Was there enough turkeys in there if you had to fail, they could have jumped on you and killed you?
Probably wild turkeys.
Me?
Yeah.
You talking about me?
Yeah.
No. It wasn't near enough.
Turkey
No.
Turkey Corn knows a man that was killed by turkeys.
Yeah. Well, I know of the man. I didn't personally know him.
Now, when are we going to film a video of going to a turkey farm and me laying down in that field and you tying a rope to me with some bells and seeing if I can survive?
That's up to y'all. I'm game for whatever.
Look, man, I want to see how many turkeys it'd take to kill a fella.
Well, we can't lose you yet.
Well, no, that's why you tie the rope around me.
Oh,
You
so
just
we can
gotta
pull
grab-
you out.
All you got to do is grab them by that liver.
Oh, yeah. Them lungs?
All right.
Grab them lungs.
All right. Now, so I've told mine and Chili's story. Go ahead and tell your story, Blake. I got to go pee.
I'm going to let Cornbread tell it.
That bomb, son.
Well, I just think it's interesting that there was a turkey competition going on and Blake wasn't involved.
Well, I didn't want to enter the, how would it look like you got two professional baseball players against one that, played in a
Softball
rec
player.
league.
Yeah.
One rec league baseball player. Like, come on.
Who are you? You're the rec league?
No, me and Corn's are professionals. We do it.
Chad's the Rick Lee.
Yeah, so, he wanted to talk some big stuff, but we didn't want to really hammer him. So me and Corn had this side conversation. Hey, look, we ain't both going to go in there because it's going to be real rough on him. And so, but, where they messed up is when, of course, Chili didn't get there on time. The hunt started at 6:45.
I disagree.
But Chili showed up at 6:45, and
6:43.
we was standing out there listening. Chad said, well, y'all go get on it. Me and Corn looked at each other. We said,
Are you sure that's what you want?
you done messed up, son.
Well, Chili still had his retainer in at 6:45.
That's true.
Tell him, Corn. Tell him about that hunt.
Oh well, we heard a few headed in there. We bumped one off the roost. Now we did mess up there. I don't know if it was a gobbler or what, but we heard another one back in through the country. He was probably 400 or 500 yards, and we just kept moseying on up there to him. Got high above him. It's what we've been trying to tell Chad all year. Get high above them, but Chad keeps getting down in them hollers
That is.
and wallering around like a pig. And
Look, man, deer. No, man,
just wallering around in the holler. You are not
deer
going to
stay
kill
on the
any,
hill.
You're not going to kill any turkeys wallering around in the holler.
Turkeys stay in the hollers. Deer stays on the hills.
Get the high ground.
He don't know how to use that terrain.
Yeah.
Now, look, next time you tell him get on the high ground, there's going to be one in the holler 500 yards below him. He going to go up to the top of the ridge, and he's going to say, Corn, say, get that high ground. You got to use that terrain.
Well, Corn, Chad also doesn't think you can call a turkey to yourself.
Oh yeah, he's wrong about that.
Well, There you go.
For some reason, he's developed this old man way of turkey hunting, where he wants to just get out there and sit, and just wait on them to come easing through.
Well, it's because I'm traditionally a deer hunter.
I mean, I can't handle it. I would literally I would have to dip a can of snuff if I was out there just sitting, waiting on.
Why you think I fidgeted, Corn?
We didn't sit long this morning, Chili.
We did. Oh, you tried. Golly, you tried. And then when they ain't,
I bet we moved. We couldn't move this morning. There was turkey everywhere around
they're
us.
gobbling. You sit down and want to send out a few. That's what you sound like. and then we wait. We wait 20 minutes, and then he goes, well, let's just move to them. No, man, sit there and start going nuts. You got to agitate them. You just gave up on it.
You got to get aggressive.
Yeah, man.
You got to get aggressive.
They ain't coming to you.
First, you got to call.
How exactly do you agitate a turkey?
First, you got to call and let that turkey know you're there. All right.
Right.
And then if he don't gobble at that, you get a little bit more aggressive.
Hey, I'm talking to you.
That's it.
And then when he gobble back at
we
you.
were devoid of all that.
Yep, and then
crap,
you go quiet for a little bit and you wait and see what, because he gonna say, well, that bum, she fired up now. Where's she at? She gonna start coming, but he might be coming or he might not. And if he don't, you give him a couple more soft,
I don't purr.
And then before you know it, he gonna be right there on you, and that crow's gonna gobble. Crow's gonna call, and he's gonna say, "Oh, there he is! I hear him walking. I hear him walking."
I let out some big series this morning, but all I do is cluck and yelp. I don't purr. Yeah,
Blake called that he shot in this morning from about 300 yards.
Called him.
Might even be four.
No,
called him in.
Okay, man. That turkey was just walking that way. We've hunted up in there enough. We know where them turkeys walk.
Reported back to us all the way from where he was at. He was saying, I'm on my way. Hold up, Thundercat. Here I come.
I'm a little closer.
Whoa, I had to get a rock from a dang gizzard. I'm still.
That turkey was toting 10 pounds of rocks, wasn't he? Did y'all weigh him before or after y'all got all them rocks out of him?
And he reported all the way there.
And had another one in there.
Yeah,
Another one run off.
Yeah, run off, and Blake hopped up.
Dang.
Yeah.
So tell me about the moment of the kill. How'd it go?
Oh, he come in perfect.
Yeah, we set up in the perfect spot. We had the canopy of the low-lying trees.
Well, look, I want to, what is perfect?
Yeah. So you got perfect shade.
What kind of trees were they?
We set up on I don't even know what kind of tree we set up on, but it had one of them, one of them like hedge bushes that's all in there.
Yeah.
All back in there, up against it, real low down.
Yeah, so we had all that. We was broke up. We wasn't backlit any by the sun, any. And I believe that turkey was coming out of, I think that burnt stuff probably went all the way down to the holler.
Yeah.
So he was probably working out of that burnt stuff. But the perfect setup, we wasn't backlit. We was broken up. He come to our left through some thick stuff. He would have had to seen straight through the thick to even be able to see us, and he worked just perfect. He turned to his right, and we was set up just perfect to where anywhere Blake could see his body and up, he was close enough range, period. And it didn't give him much time to peg us out.
And that hill had just enough roll to it that he wasn't just on you in a split second.
That's right.
You was able to see just I don't know, I probably seen him for 10 or 15 seconds before I shot him, but
about the time we heard him walking, Blake seen him. And that's the perfect setup. That way he can't pick you out.
He didn't come in strutting or nothing?
Yeah, he was strutting.
Yeah, he was strutting.
Oh, yeah. We call up strutters, man.
Well, yeah, because he was coming into us. He wasn't just passing through.
We ain't messing with just gobbling goobers out there that's just running around bumping into trees gobbling. You know what I mean? We calling up boss toms.
Yep, and you got to,
you know what I'm saying?
You got to stop calling soon enough that he don't just show enough pinpoint you.
Yeah, because they got pinpoint. I don't even know how you explain a turkey's accuracy. like knowing.
Me and Blake
exactly
were talking
where,
about that the other day. They can hear a sound and they can know the exact direction and distance somehow.
Yeah, they know exactly.
Because I called one in the other day. I was going down there to walk my dog, and that joker fogged off right in there. And I ran back in the house, put the dog up, put my clothes on, walked down there, called to that turkey. He fogged off again, but he come in to where he knowed he could see down in there where I was at.
Was he up higher than you?
I could see him. He came off the hill because turkeys travel in draws. I was sitting in the draw.
He came off the hill because they travel in draws.
He came off the hill because he was ready to travel. He was just sitting on that hill, fogging off. They fog off on the. No, look, they fog off on the hill because they know sound travels. But when they're ready to move, they drop off the hill and travel up the draw. So I was waiting for him down here, but I was too far back. When they drop off the hill, as soon as they get into the draw, they parallel or contour the bottom of the finger or the heel that they came off of. So I was too far in the center of the draw. I should have moved up to where I could have shot right into the base of that finger he was on. But when he come down, you know, he had his head up. They look at you out of one eye.
Yeah.
And he was looking, and he could see all down in that draw. And he knowed exactly how far I should have been and exactly where I was at. And when he didn't see a hen, he just kept right on walking. He didn't come no further than he had to be able to see where he knew that sound came from.
Yeah.
See, that's where you messed up. You don't. Yeah,
You didn't have the perfect setup.
No.
Yeah.
And you know the funny thing is,
you too worried about killing. You ain't worried about hunting. All I got to say about that.
well, you know that was the turkey that he shot, and so we have evidence that wasn't. It didn't go into an orbital, Judge.
Yeah.
Because that he said that turkey was going from left to right. All right.
That's the first funny thing Blake said in 2 years.
Well, Blake, I thought you shot this turkey.
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, that's the one he
clean
wounded.
missed. Listen, I clean missed because all I could see was neck up on the
No,
one.
Blake,
that,
you clean missed and wounded one. That
well, the
was
wounded one died. Chad attested
No.
during open court that the turkey was wounded so bad that it would have died, and that wasn't, in his words, there was one less turkey that we could hunt because it was wounded so bad that it would die.
Well, it did
Now-
die. You shot it.
He shot this one as it was moving from left to right. Cornbread, where was all the feathers missing out of the breast?
On the right hand side of the turkey.
Okay, well, then
Moving
that would have been
way.
opposite because that turkey.
No. Left. You was sitting here. He's coming from your left to the right.
No, he was actually that one I shot at. He was look. He was on my
Such a
left.
liar, dude.
No, I'm being straight up with you. He was on my left.
It's wild when he lies.
No,
like
you
that.
told
And
me,
he came in
you
like
showed
this.
me the specific spot. You said he was moving from here to here, just past that little log right there. He was
So
going
if
back
I would
over.
have shot him and missed him, it would have been on his. I would have hit him on his left side. The way he was moving.
That's
Negative.
some wazoo crap right there, buddy. So that was an interesting fact. You know, when we thought, well, we're glad we can come in here and clean up a mess and improve the environment. That
So you
he's-
think y'all both wounded one this year?
No. Well, I killed one and didn't recover it. I total clean missed one. And then here I've cleaned up the one that he wounded. Just put a couple old just pellets in. It did not enter an orbital, Judge.
Where was the pellets located in that bird?
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, how do you know it wasn't fresh pellets?
It was done grown over, scabbed over. They were scabbed over.
Okay.
And where were they?
I have video that we will bring up next time and show you.
Okay.
Did you post any of this footage on Patreon?
No.
So the patrons haven't even. What the crap, Corn?
Well, I don't have good service at your house
Oh, okay.
at all.
He got that Metro PCS.
Yeah. Patreon members will get Blake's turkey hunting video.
You know,
soon.
and don't forget about that warble.
Yeah, he did have a warble on his head.
Yeah.
and that was from where you had a stray pellet come up and hit the top of
Just
his head.
grazed it. Yeah.
Yeah,
And just it nicked it and caused a
warble.
warble.
Yeah,
Yep.
and
That's
it turned his lungs
A growth.
liver color.
Yeah.
It turned
Well,
his
that was
lungs.
just embarrassing.
He turned his lungs liver color.
Yeah, it
That-
turned his lungs into his livers.
That was just embarrassing. You thought that liver was his lungs.
I tasted it. Tastes just like lung to me.
yeah.
well-
Did you think I cooked that good?
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
So
All
they
right, wasn't it?
they cleaned this turkey, and I ain't kidding you. This turkey had a bucket full of rocks in him.
Yeah.
And then he had a whole darn mess of acorns and greens. And
I ain't never,
Autistic
I ain't
Blake
never
tried to
seen
give 'em
one
to
that
us.
full.
no,
never.
I wonder if it ain't to do with him being wounded. I wonder if he just didn't have nothing to do all day but sit around and eat.
Maybe
Well,
so.
you know, them turkeys, people may not know this, but they've got rocks in their gizzard. And they got whole acorns that they eat go in there.
Digestion, right?
Crop is what that guy called it on the YouTube video. We called it the crawl. But you think, how does it get digested? It goes in that gizzard with all them rocks, and that gizzard sits there and grinds all that mess up and then pumps it out in just this old ground up
Yeah.
whatever it is. And that's why they get all their nutrients of it. So what Corn told me, some people collect them rocks and keep them gizzard rocks. I tried to give them to him. I harvested them everything and tried to give him them gizzard rocks, and he wouldn't.
Well, that was from your bird. You need to keep
Well,
them.
we
Yeah, you
killed
can't.
that together.
Nobody wants your rocks out of the gizzard of a turkey you killed.
Me and Corn killed that together.
Should have brought
We
them
did.
home.
It
to your
was.
kids.
I was kind of picking a different kind of setup, and Corn said, "Well, the limb's a little bit lower over there, and I think I'd be a better spot." And that's where we moved. Perfect setup. So we kind of did this together, you know.
Why would you collect a gizzard rock?
You
Trophy,
know,
boy.
You remember when you looked at them, how you said, "Oh, look at that," and it looks as if it's been polished.
Yeah.
And you
I
know
do
they're
remember
just
I said that.
different colors and stuff, and they put them in jars. So every turkey you kill, you get the rocks, and you just
That
keep
makes
filling
sense.
up the jar. And
Yeah.
it's like,
That's actually pretty cool.
yeah.
Those were your spurs.
Yeah.
Did you throw those out, Blake? You should have kept those, man.
Well, I was going to, but I couldn't get nobody to get them.
Why? That don't even make no dang sense.
Autism Blake.
What the crap, man?
I ain't starting that this year.
So they got out there and cleaned that bird, and Chili cut the guts and livers out of it.
Yeah.
Well, he just reached in there and yanked them all out. He didn't.
Chili
need
had
them.
a science project going on over there.
Yeah, you know why that suited him well? Because he was able to fidget. you know what Chili's like? Chili's like the old freaking,
Oh boy.
the old daggone, just crusty, just guy that you have at the hunting camp that cooks all the meals.
Krusty Krab.
He don't ever hunt. Blake, were you on that hog hunt that time when they had that old cookie?
Yeah.
Chili's Cookie. They had Cookie at, you know, Cookie just hangs around the hunting camp. You know, he don't do nothing all day, but when it's time to cook, when he ain't cooking, he's just smoking cigarettes, you know, piddling on something. But you remember Cookie? You remember them brims he cooked, Blake?
Oh, yeah.
He cooked some brims that were about this big, and by the time he fried them, it wasn't nothing. He was cooking whole brims that was about this big, and by the time you went to eat, pull that brim out, and they want nothing on that thing, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it was awful.
That's
But-
like that turkey heart rendered down to nothing, man.
Yeah, you ate the whole heart, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, usually with these turkeys, you just cut the breast out of them.
Yeah, I ain't good with that, man. I got a liver in there, kidney.
Yeah, did you eat that kidney?
Yeah.
Oof.
Well, I'll say that was the highest scoring bird of the season.
Well, they had 5 pounds of rocks in him.
He
Yeah.
weighed
But I guess it
20,
counts.
20 pounds and 3 ounces.
Yeah.
That's
And
a
he was wounded.
big bird.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was so daggone heavy because he was wounded. He didn't do nothing but sit around and eat all day.
He had all that food in him, and then them pellets from when you shot him the first time. He had a pound of pellets in him.
Yeah. I left that breast meat in your refrigerator for you too. So now you ain't got to thaw nothing out to eat tonight. You just go cook up that breast.
Look, I don't like wild game. I'll eat the livers, but that's about all I'll eat.
You didn't eat no liver today.
Well, that's because Chili and Corn ate it all like a bunch of hogs.
You weren't going to eat no liver.
They didn't leave me none. Chili ate the whole heart and half the liver.
You won't even eat no deer liver.
No, I don't like deer meat. Deer meat's the worst stinking crap, but deer meat's barely fit for it to feed a dog. Deer meat's it'd be a daggone starving pygmy to eat that crap.
You got to start eating some more mock steak, man.
Yeah.
Corn always eating that mock steak.
I bought me some last night at Publix.
What is that, cube steak?
No, it's mock steak.
I have no idea what that is.
It's like steak, but it ain't. It's mock.
It's a cheaper cut of meat.
What's it called?
Mock steak.
Is it really?
Does anybody YouTube? Has anybody ever heard of that?
He likes that mock steak and that eye of round.
Yeah,
Well, that's an actual cut,
They're
though.
basically the same thing.
No, they ain't. I looked it
Are
up.
they not? About the same price.
Same price, but so these folks on there, they said they ain't never heard no mock steak.
You can get a sixth of an ounce of a filet, or you can get a mock steak.
Minute steak.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, deer meat's the nastiest crap you could possibly eat. Dry and stringy. You ate that whole deer you killed, didn't you?
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Last
Well,
year.
if you would start eating more wild game, then it'd be a little bit easier on us to feed the rest of the population.
I don't need to feed them deer to my dogs.
Get it ground up, man. Get most of it ground up and get the back strap.
Chad
That's
thinks
what
it's,
poor people eat.
Chad thinks it's weird if you eat what you kill.
I ain't poor enough to eat deer meat. No.
You don't like deer backstrap?
You are a
No,
doozy,
man, that
dude.
stuff is nasty.
Or what about the real tenderloin that's on the inside?
Oh, that's even worse. That
That
stuff,
sweet cut.
That stuff
Yeah.
tastes so dang strong. About make you puke just cooking it. Just the smell of it.
Boy, let me tell you one time. We got a big old humongous snapping turtle.
Oh, don't tell me you ate it.
Turtle or terrapin?
Snapping turtle.
Okay.
I'm talking.
That's
it
a
was-
nasty creature.
Have you ever harvested a snapping turtle?
I mean, I've caught them. They stink.
So when you dispatch a snapping turtle, a biggin, and you gonna start skinning him out, that is no joke. Their muscles tighten up so hard. It takes one person to hold his arm for you can skin his arm. And this is no joke. When you get his heart out,
You're talking about when he's dead?
yeah, when he's dead with his head chopped off. When you get his heart out and you lay it on the tailgate of the truck and set it right yonder, that heart continues to beat for a good while by itself.
Oh, my God.
No joke.
That's because they're old, man. That heart's been beating so long.
But anyhow, we got that snapping turtle and soaked that joker in buttermilk all night long, and that meat still smelled so bad I couldn't even stomach to cook it.
Yeah, they stink when they're alive.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen them sometimes. Sometimes they'll come out up out of the water, I guess, to lay eggs. Sometimes you'll catch them on dry land, just I guess making a nest or something, and they'll be all dried up and stink.
Yeah.
Gosh almighty, they stink.
They smell awful.
What do you eat off of a turtle?
The dang
all of
meat
it.
off the legs and everything.
Do you trim it off the bone?
You
Yeah.
didn't take them turkey legs
Yeah.
today, did you? Come on, man.
They say that it's got how many different types of meat in that turtle, don't
It's
they
like
say?
6 different types of, but I mean, I've only had the meat off the legs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't taste like white meat and dark meat and everything else.
What you eating, corn? A calf meat off a turtle?
That's right. Turtle calf.
That old nasty Indian wouldn't even eat a dang turtle. Good gosh, Corn, you got to quit eating all that, man. Gosh.
Hey, I'm trying to
almighty.
help feed the rest of the world, Chad. They ain't got to grow food for me, meat for me. I eat the scrap meat at Publix, the malt steak.
Subway.
Yeah.
Good night, man. Well, good job this morning, Blake. You're tagged out now, huh?
Yeah, tagged out in Alabama. Still got one more tag there in Georgia.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that bird you killed in Alabama. Oh, thank you, Chili. This episode is brought to you by our partner at Drink Hoist. Drink Hoist. Don't eat nasty deer meat and freaking turtle legs. Go get some dang Hoist, man.
You can do both.
You know what? If I was so poor and starving that I was eating a turtle leg.
Hey, baby, you got them turtle legs going in the crock pot.
I mean, if I was so poor and starving I was eating a turtle leg, at least I would wash it down with a sip of Hoist.
That's good.
All right? Because I bet a turtle leg would dry your mouth out something fierce. And the thing about Hoist
It dehydrates you.
is it hydrates you better than water. Proven to hydrate you better than water. So if you try to wash a turtle meat down with a sip of water, it ain't going to work. It's going to get hung up in your throat. So have a bottle of Hoist on standby in case you got to eat a daggone turtle because you about to freaking starve to death and you're poor as crap. Look, this stuff is made in America. Y'all remember all that stuff we talked about in Coca-Cola? This ain't got none of it. This has got water, real sugar in it, potassium, dextrose. Chili knows what that is. I don't know what that is.
Sugar.
It's got sugar in it. Well, it says it has cane sugar in it.
Yeah. Well, dextrose is a sugar too.
This also doesn't have any of them preservatives in it.
No.
If you open this right here and you don't drink it all and then you let it sit for a couple of days, it'll grow mold in it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, drink it, man. It's just-
Electrolytes.
we've been
stevia.
using Hoist for a long time now. I used this the whole time I ran Cocodona.
Yeah.
And it sits well with your stomach. The reason it sits well with your stomach is because your body can process it. It don't weigh you down,
It
man.
daggum tastes good, man.
It
That's
tastes
one reason
good.
it sticks with your stomach.
I guarantee you. Yeah, I drank it all that time. I never got tired of drinking it. IV level hydration. Check them out. Hoist is more than a beverage. It's battlefield proven. IV level hydration. The military, I think it's one of only 2 hydration supplements that has been approved by the U.S. military. I think it's one of only 2. It absorbs instantly and replenishes your body immediately. If you daggone sweat, if you're a fat and you're trying to get in shape, if you're out there getting after it, if you're dumb enough to try to eat a turtle, get you some Hoist at drinkhoist.com. Made in America.
If you get to see that video of me killing that turkey, look at my vest when I'm running up there. What's in it, Corn?
Hoist.
Well, you're going to post that video on Patreon.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If you get to see it, if you're on Patreon, you get to see.
I did a
Hoist flopping in my pack.
I did a Patreon exclusive video yesterday, man. If you guys want to support the show or want to see all this behind the scenes stuff, go join us over there on Patreon, man. I guarantee you, it's a heck of a lot better place to be than the stinking YouTube.
Well, we're dropping a lot on you right now, but I've got 2 things to tell you about. One is not on our website. Shea Butler has developed it. What, Blake?
Is Coco getting that new website up?
Oh, yeah.
All right, Coco's working on a revamped website for you guys.
How about that?
Coco, if you're listening, you better daggone get on it, man. All right? We ain't got all day for you to sit around and piddle around on your computer. Get to stinking work, Coco.
First honorary mention of Coco on the cast.
You getting excited about that website?
Yeah,
Well,
I am excited about that. She's also going to create a pretty cool newsletter for you guys. I'm really looking forward to that, man.
well, you better be writing the material for it.
Yeah.
Well, so actually, the first thing I'll tell you about is on our website. How about that? We've got patches. I made them kind of big. In relation to my hand here, Chad says I have small thumbs, so that gives you some perspective.
Yeah.
It's about thumb size, thumb length, thumb width. But nice and big for if you put them on a backpack. We got patches, 3 of 7 logo patch, be hard when it gets hard patch. I think this would look right nice on a tactical vest. You know, the first set of these, the very first set is owned by Tulo G.
That's right.
Yeah.
The very first.
He has the very, so you won't get the very first set, but you can get some of the supplementary
I
pairs.
put them on my plate carrier. They look good on there, man.
Yeah.
I like them.
Yep. If you wanted a patch, a lot of you guys have asked for them before. We've got them now in the store. Go check them out. And the other thing, we don't. We've got the Instinct collaboration knife listed on our website with Shea Butler. We've got a link to his website there. There's a new knife inspired by the Tree of Liberty shirt, Mortem Tyrannus.
Put it in the comments, Blake.
Yeah,
what are
put
you
the
doing?
link.
Just sitting over there twiddling your stinking thumbs, man?
Don't be mad at me because you can't kill no turkeys.
Put the dang link to the new knife in the comments. That's a sweet knife,
Yeah,
man.
go check it out. It is a sweet knife. New blade, new design, Mortem Tyrannus with the 307 logo. Sweet color options. It's really pretty cool.
Shay makes a heck of a knife.
He does.
He makes a heck of a knife, man.
There's options over there too. There's the whole 3 of 7 project collaboration tab on his website that's got them all listed. So
Is there really?
yeah, yep. So go check it out. There's multiple blades you can get. He's still making them. So check you one out. Get you one.
Yeah, he makes a heck of a knife. This ain't your daggone Ozark Trail that you
No.
buy in the freaking outdoor section of your Walmart.
It could be a pretty good hunting knife too. That Instinct, man.
Yeah, it could be. You could kill somebody with it, hunt with it, chop wood with it. Hey man, they hold up. I've got the same one I've been using at the basic course for 2 years now.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how much daggone wood I've chopped with that thing.
Have you seen the Mortem Tyrannus knife?
Yeah, I saw a picture of it. I don't have one.
It's a bad unit.
It
son.
is a
I'm
bad
going to
unit.
go on there and buy me one.
You ain't got to put blood on it. It already looks like it's got it.
Oh, look, Blake actually did his job and put it in the show notes of the episode.
Praise
Good job,
be.
Blake.
I didn't put it in the show notes of the episode, dummy. I put it in the comments.
Well, put it in the show notes too when we're done here.
I don't post the show.
Look. Look.
Look.
You are not going
Yep.
to get
Look.
insubordinate on this podcast. And I think this guy's name is Chad. Look at this hat, man. This is a nice hat. Let me put this on. San Diego County Sheriff's Department.
You got super chats, Blake?
I want to know how this looks on me because I was actually thinking about becoming the sheriff.
In San Diego?
No, around here.
So freaking wild, dude.
How's this look? Does it fit? I mean, does it look good on
Yeah,
me?
it actually
Yeah, it
does.
does.
Yeah,
look
I was
good,
thinking
yeah.
about becoming the sheriff.
Just
Well,
a county
when-
sheriff.
When you're a sheriff, you got to wear either a cowboy hat or a campaign hat.
I've got this, a patch. How do you become the sheriff?
You run for it.
Yeah.
What does the sheriff do anyways?
He runs the sheriff's department.
What do they do?
Well, it depends
Be
where
honest,
you're at.
Corn.
but it depends where they're at. Some of them just serve warrants and do civil stuff, but some of them actually answer 911 calls too.
You think it's important to have a good sheriff?
I do, absolutely, 100%. 100%.
I'd be a good one. Vote for me. I've got the hat. I'm well on my way. And somebody else also sent me this picture of myself.
That's a burnt creation.
Burnt Creation. Got that right there, burntcreations.com.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I might let you take this home with you and hang it in your bedroom, Blake.
Nice
do
picture of Chad.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Put it right on the right in front of the toilet.
And I also got some coins here. Did y'all get any gifts from the listeners?
No, man.
I got a
They
coin
They
here.
like to send you stuff.
Thank you for your service, honoring all who served. And then I got another one right here. It's pretty cool.
Well, Corn gets
Put on the
gifts,
whole
too.
armor of God. Yeah, the listeners
yeah.
didn't send you guys. What'd you get,
Well,
Corn?
he gets gifts all the time. He didn't get nothing today.
No, I didn't get nothing.
What do you think about them coins?
They're nice. They're in some nice cases here to keep them
I
nice.
do like that.
Cornbread, are you getting gifts, man? You're the most. You've become the most inspiring person at 307 Project.
No, hockey.
Yep.
No. Show ain't.
Yeah. So thank you guys for sending this stuff. I do accept
Gold. Go ahead and tell the P.O. box because, look, Lil Virgil just commented, said he's going to send you some fancy shampoo. What's the address?
I don't really take showers, little Virgil. You can pass on that shampoo.
No, how about
I
no?
haven't showered in
Little
multiple
Virgil wants
days.
to send you a gift. I want to just
Yeah, don't be disrespectful to LV.
Yeah, that's
Look,
kinda,
send me gold, man.
Tell him, Chili.
Well, Little Virgil can send you what he wants. Someone else can send you Canadian gold. Little Virgil don't have any Canadian gold.
What's the P.O. box?
454 P.O. Box 454 Rome, Georgia 30162.
There you go. Send me some stuff, man. I'll show it on the podcast. And what you got, tech guy?
Got some super chats come in.
I've been seeing them roll in. I seen some feller said, everybody send a super chat because we need this podcast to last for 5 hours today. Carrie McCleary has just been blowing it up.
Yeah, that's the new LV right there.
She has been blowing it up, son.
All right, we got Marty Bingham at 1999.
Overall, Marty.
Marty's coming to Rob course.
He
isn't
is.
Word on the streets that Bigfoot heard y'all are looking for him. Says he ain't too bad worried because he done seen you trying to kill a turkey a while back.
He better not be down in the holler chat to get him.
ACS 92 coming in at $4.99. Dear 3 of 7, this podcast is bussin' no cap.
Bill?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Went back in time on that one, son.
Thank you.
Marty Bingham coming back at $19.99. I'd like for you to consider waiting until after the end of September before you mess with Bigfoot again. I'm just saying.
Roger that, Marty. Well, Marty, you're a wise man. I might take your advice.
James Wright coming in at $1.99 said Chili, the fish trip killer.
Oh, dang.
He gave $1.99 just to be able to get that shot in at Chili, man.
Well, what did I do?
We were all going to go on a deep sea fishing trip, but we can't get Chili to come with us, so we had to cancel.
Wonder when that got pivoted to me.
I think Blake threw it off on you.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll allow Blake to do that, but you
Well,
know.
no, if you want to go, I'll book it. But you didn't seem that interested the other day.
Oh, so that's how you put it off on me. You didn't want to go. Chad and you didn't want to go, so you just said, well, we'd go, Dad, but
No.
Chili don't want to go.
I
And if Chili
want-
don't want to go, then we can't be out of town.
I want to go. Corn's impartial.
I mean, Dad, we want to go. I mean, we love nothing
I'll
more.
go ahead and tell you, I'd about rather eat a turtle leg than go fishing. I mean, I don't give two craps about fishing.
I like to deep sea fish myself.
I like to deep sea fish myself.
Have you ever been?
No,
Never been.
no, but I never said I wouldn't go.
wanna go?
Look, man, once you've caught one fish, they're all the same.
James
Once you've caught-
James was pumped about it. He said, I know I can't shoot, but I'd like to go fishing.
Once you've caught a
I'm more
stinking
of your-
fish, you've done it all.
I'm more your freshwater fisherman.
You'd like to fish the flats or something.
I'm a freshwater guy. You know.
Now
Light tackle.
there
I don't
is
know
a
about all this deep sea fishing.
there is a good time to go fishing. The only good time to go fishing is in the middle of the Georgia summer when you've done everything else that you can possibly come up with to do. Everything else is done, and you sit down and you say, there literally is not a single other thing that I can do that's productive or not, and it's too hot to even go outside, then it's a good time to go fishing.
Well, now I will catch a crappie or a brim on you, but you know, all this amberjack, all this exotic fish, I don't.
Well,
No. about all
I
that.
won't eat no dang fish anyways.
You won't eat.
No, I'll eat a fish, maybe a piece
you-
of fish
you
I
know
buy
what?
from the
You know
store.
what? If you eat grouper or amberjack, you're poor.
Yeah, I ain't
do you
eating that
remember
crap.
when you come down to stay one night and y'all didn't have nothing to eat and Chad was wanting you to get some of that fish from me that we had got on the deep sea fishing trip, and
That
then
was insane.
he called me. He said, "Hey, Bubba, you still
I'll
got
never-
any of that fish that y'all caught out there?" You,
I
well,
do
me and
remember
Chili,
that.
we was wanting a little bit. You think we could have some of that fish?
I do remember that.
I'll never forget that.
Why did I want that nasty crap,
He
man?
told me to ask you
Oh,
for it.
that was back when I was poor, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was back when I
You
was
told
still
me
poor.
when you left, you called me. Me and Blake were together, and you said, "Well, you asked Blake for that fish," and I said,
Yeah, because he wouldn't give me any more, I didn't think.
"Well,
He had done something to tick me off, and so he was trying to use you.
but I thought you
And-
calling me to ask if Blake will give you fish."
I remember you was like, "I'm not asking him."
Yeah,
You called him.
that pissed me off.
It made him mad that you wouldn't do it too.
I know it did. We were all just pissed at each other,
It's just nasty.
and we never ate no fish.
It's good.
Bones in it, and veins in it.
We had Jonathan come in at $10. With all the food in the world, it still wouldn't be enough for Oprah Winfrey.
Whoa.
There you go, Jonathan. Or Hillary Clinton.
J. Leslie Nielsen come in at $10. God bless you and your family.
Thank you, Jay.
Glenn, the storyteller, coming in at $19.99.
Thank you,
What
Glenn.
should the church in USA do better? We're doing what Jesus and the Father liked us to do.
What? Well, you should be a light in this world and share the gospel and follow Christ, and that's what you should be doing. Loving people, loving the Lord. That's what you ought to be doing.
Somewhere in Texas.
What the USA could be doing? Let me tell you, man, this country is not ever going to be what you want it to be. This place is done, dude. This country is done. Get over it. Look, y'all all thinking this. Look, man, no. Don't even worry about what the USA should do. This place is done, dude. Told y'all that already.
Somewhere in Texas coming in at $20. Come in with the strong arm emoji, the kiss face, bang bang, racing flag, cornbread.
Woo, let's
That's what
go.
I'm talking about.
Heard that.
Somewhere in Texas.
The Garfield fam coming in at $5. Can't wait to come train with you all this September at the ROP course. Love y'all. Be blessed.
Yes, sir.
Looking forward to
Nathan.
it, man.
Yep.
Rock course is rough, boy.
Sean Wright coming in at £10. Did Chili watch East versus West?
Oh, 100% I did. We've been.
Don't get him fired up on that, Sean.
Yeah.
What the crap is that?
That
Come
was
on, man.
arm wrestling super match, son.
Oh my
I
gosh.
watched Muratov, Devin Larrett versus Levon Saganashvili.
You guys are freaking lost it, man.
I wanted Devin to win, and he got housed. He ain't got that pronation like me. You know what I'm talking about when you go like that?
Yeah, whatever.
James.
Arm wrestling's gay.
James Wright coming back in at $1.99. Are we going fishing?
Darn.
Gatekeeper PVVQ $1.99. What color does Chili wear when hunting?
Blake gave him a leafy suit.
Well, no, what color I wear. All this, you know what else is gay? Is camo. Why you got, no, man, I wear whatever freaking I got on. That's what I wear. It don't matter what color you got on.
Where'd you get that Rolling Thunder or Thunder Chicken hat at?
Corn gave me this hat. No, I like this hat.
I at Mozzie Oak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wear that Mozzie Oak.
Look,
Unless we're deer hunting in a tree stand, then we wear real tree.
what you have on don't matter to these animals, man.
When I'm turkey hunting, I'll sit down on the ground
In the holler.
and I
Spent my dollar.
literally become a stump.
Look, don't nobody care what you do when you turkey hunting. You got two opportunities
don't
to
neither.
shoot at a turkey this year, and you've missed one of them.
I visualize myself as a stump, and that's what I become.
Me and Corn was talking this morning, and we said, we have missed some turkeys this year. Now we will miss some turkey. We will. But we said, we have spent more effort into our hunting ability than our shooting ability. So when you get many opportunities to shoot because you're such a good hunter, you can afford to miss. That's how you drag the season out.
Yeah, that's right.
And enjoy it.
I planned my hunting that way.
Yeah.
It's planned like that.
I agree. And
I intentionally miss a lot of times. A lot of times I intentionally miss.
Say, got him.
Yeah. Got you. Boom.
They probably gobbling at the house right now. I can't even go walk my darn dog without a turkey gobbling.
We got Clock and Floor coming in at $1.99. Everyone put a super chat and make this pod go for 5 hours.
Funny.
Man, clock and floor.
Carrie McCleary coming in at $1.99. Carrie McCleary coming in at $1.99. Clock and Floor coming in at $1.99. Super chat decoy. TJ McLaughlin, $4.99. Looks like Chili might have a new nickname after this morning's hunt.
Yeah, Cookie.
Fidget Spinner.
Oh.
Much love, fellas. Stay blessed.
He is a fidgeter.
Thank you.
TJ, that's a ROP course graduate.
Clock and Floor coming back in at $1.99. This super chat is, in fact, another decoy.
What is clock and floor?
I don't know. That's for him. Clock and Floor. What's going on, man?
Clock, because a clock don't go on the floor. A clock
unless it's
goes
a
on
big-
His website?
Unless it's a big stand-up
a clock goes on the wall.
That is. Maybe he's got a website.
There's
Clock and floor.
Look, there's a place down here in Rome that it's got 2 old jokers in it, and they work on clocks. That's what they do.
Do you like a grandfather clock?
No, I hate them. You go in this shop down here in Rome, and it's just like 1,000 clocks ticking all over the place. They've got a whole dang room of nothing but clocks.
They adjust the time on them constantly.
I don't
You know
know.
you got to.
Yeah, I mean,
They get off.
it's pretty wild. That's all they do is work on clocks.
You like a pocket watch?
Yeah, they'll work on anything you bring in there, any sort of clock.
Carrie McCleary coming in at $1.99.
Thank you, Carrie.
Thank you.
Travis Van Ness, $9.99. Reaping and sowing.
That's right. Thank you, Travis.
LV coming in at $4.99. Gave some kind of little weird dog thing. Says Bravo on it.
That's what I'm talking
weird
about,
dog.
LV.
I like that.
Chili
That's
Jr.
iconic.
coming in at $1.99 said, "You can't ground me."
Oh, Chili Jr. is back, son.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to say much to that other than you will not hear from Chili Jr. next week.
Somewhere in Texas coming in at $20. Chad for sheriff.
That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, somewhere in Texas.
Mark Stoddard, $4.99. Do you brothers ever get along? Can totally relate. Bless you all.
Thank you, Mark.
Carrie McCleary, $1.99.
Thank you.
Muscled up runner Greer, $9.99. God bless and love you.
Steve Greer, love you.
Hashtag Florida Crazy Cajun 85 coming in at $19.99.
Good
grief.
night.
Chili Jr. coming back in at $9.99. He said, on a more serious note, I do appreciate what y'all do, and y'all have convinced me to run my first ultra, and I thought taking Chili's last name would help.
Look, Chili Jr., you do not break character. Do not freaking break character. All right, I appreciate the super chat, but I do not appreciate the fact that you just break freaking character in the comment. You're a kid.
Now
you
put
don't
another
run.
super chat in.
You're a kid. You don't run ultra freaking marathons, dude.
Hey, don't talk to my son that way.
Put another super chat in and
You're worried
drop
about
character.
Look here. Hey, don't talk to him like that. You understand?
You're worried about being grounded and Chili not feeding you the right cereal and crap, man.
Hey, that's enough.
Never break character on here if you've been in here on the super chat. That goes for you two, LV and Carrie McCleary, wherever you came from out of nowhere.
She doing it.
You need to figure out who you are on here, all right?
We got Carrie McCleary coming back in at $1.99.
Yeah.
Jeff at $1.99. Freedom cost $1.05. God bless y'all.
Darn right it does, Jeff.
Triple
law.
Glades Dan, $1.99. Florida Cajun Crazy, 85, $9.99.
Thank you, buddy. Y'all remember that time when that guy had that YouTube handle that was like some derogatory
something.
Blake just read it
And
anyway.
Blake just kept reading it and he didn't realize what he was saying.
Y'all talking about Mike?
Yeah. You remember Mike, Mr. Smells?
Yeah.
Yeah.
T. Russell, $20. Thanks for all you do. Love you all.
Thank you, T.
Love
Russell.
you, T. Russell.
Chili Jr. come back in at $1.99. Says, I am a kid.
Dang right you are, Chili Jr. Don't you ever break character in the comment section again.
Jeff coming in at $9.99. Meat money for cornbread.
Yeah. There you go. How much mock steak will $9.99 get you?
1.5 packs. It ain't but like $7.50, $8 for a pack of 4.
You need it, dude. Quit eating that crap cornbread.
It's real
Eat
beef.
sirloin, man.
Mock. That's mock beef.
At least eat sirloin, dude.
Dark Horse Productions coming in at $4.25. $4.25. Thanks for your courage and what you're doing.
Thank you.
Larry Bird coming in at $1.99. Bum Mahoney coming in at $1.99.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you, bum.
Wasn't Larry a basketball player?
Larry
Yeah.
Bird.
Larry Bird been around for a while on the podcast listening.
He has, man, for real. Yeah.
Yeah.
Played at Indiana State.
Oh, the Nature Boy coming in at $2. South Georgia checking in.
Flair.
Ric Flair.
Paul
The
Lee.
Nature Boy.
The Nature Boy, South Georgia checking in. Man,
Nature Boy Paul Lee.
I like South Georgia, man. I wish, people down in South Georgia don't like that they have all them hogs, but, I wouldn't mind having a few hogs myself. You know what, man? All these stupid conservationists, the National Wild Turkey Federation, all these daggone idiots and game wardens, and you don't know freaking nothing, dude. All of y'all stupid turkey hunters, man, y'all think that everything kills turkeys. Look, you talk to a daggone turkey hunter. National Wild Turkey Federation just made it to where coon season was open. They're traveling around the country. They're freaking killing all these coons, man. You talk to anybody that turkey hunts, you mention a Tweety bird, and they say, "Oh, that Tweety bird impacts the turkey population." Y'all a bunch of idiots, man. People say, "No, we don't want them hogs. Them hogs eat them turkeys' eggs." Who gives a crap, man? You think a turkey's the only thing in the woods, man? Freaking think. The crap is wrong with you guys, man?
Y'all know where this is coming from, don't you?
Uh-huh.
When I was speaking to him about being ethical about the place he has to hunt and not killing no more turkeys, and he's got so many coons eating his turkey eggs, that's where it's coming from.
He's mad. He's mad about
I
it.
can't stand the National Wild Turkey Federation.
You coming out against
They
them?
are a bunch of daggone cock masters, dude. That's all they are. They're a bunch of freaking polo-wearing dweebs. Turkey hunting is the golf of hunting.
Agreed.
Oh, that's duck
That's
hunting.
duck hunting.
Well,
but
duck hunting and turkey hunting's right at it as worse.
right as it works.
You're killing a freaking bird, man. I mean, give me a break. Who can't kill a freaking bird? National Wild Turkey Federation. I hope a coon comes and eats your daggone colon out, son. Hope your colon gets laid out by a coon. If you're a National Wild Turkey Federation member. Screw you guys.
Corn just yelped.
Yeah.
That's when you run for sheriff. You say, "I hope a coon eats your colon out."
Screw y'all, you guys that think everything's impacting the turkey population. Well, the freaking woods it's more than just a dang turkey. Idiots.
You idiots.
That's all I got to say today. Enough said.